Academy and are looking to redeem themselves after a disappointing loss versus the Gulliver Raiders.
Yeah, Belen coming in at 1-1, beat MacArthur by 45 in the first game, lost 42-7 last week to Gulliver. Sommerset comes in at 1-2 with two blowout losses. Let's see if the Wolverines can take this one. What do you think they need to improve from last week?
Well, last week they need to make a lot of improvements, especially when it comes to the passing game. We saw them struggle a lot against a crisp secondary from Gulliver. And, this is not a good team compared to Gulliver, not as good of a team compared to Gulliver. So we should see them succeed in the air a little more this week.
Yeah, no offense to Somerset, but there are very few teams in this league that match the caliber of Gulliver. So I want to see them clean up the mistakes that they beat themselves a lot versus Gulliver. It's not something we're used to. Belen playing a very disciplined style, but there were fumbles, bad snaps, turnovers, special teams miscues, secondary miscues, penalties. I mean, we gave up a touchdown on our drive where Gulliver had 3rd and goal from their own 48. So they just gotta eliminate those kind of mistakes and make Somerset beat them, not beat themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you on the fact that there was a lot of, turnovers and penalties that were called on Belen. It was just self-inflicting mistakes that they brought onto themselves, which they need to change this week. And I'm pretty sure head coach Don Shaney was talking to them, drilling a mindset into their minds just to not have all these miscues offensively, on the special teams or defensively.
Yeah, I imagine he ripped into them pretty good after the last game. I mean, they did do a good job, went down 35-0 in the first half, came out in the second half, showed a lot of heart, especially for a young team, and were able to take it out 7-7 in the second half. And here they come onto De La Cruz Field.
So here comes the Belen Jesuit Wolverines football squad. This week we will be seeing Alberto Mendoza starting at the helm for the Wolverines, and we're going to see Kamani Alexander starting in the backfield over senior Hayden Puente.
Yeah, we got to outline some of the key players for that Belen offense. Starting quarterback Alberto Mendoza, really talented, great arm, good thrower. I expect to see backup quarterback Miades also come off the bench and make some throws. He has probably the best arm out of the quarterbacks, can really sling it. And they got two running backs they'll use primarily. Hayden Puente, more of a fullback, big bruiser kind of guy, won't go down on first contact. Kamani Alexander, really liked what we saw from him last week. Speed guy, agile, strong, and just a true freshman. Wouldn't surprise me to see him make a lot of plays today out of the backfield.
Yeah, Alexander had a few electrifying plays last week against Gulliver and in the previous week also. He's only a freshman, and so far he's looked outstanding.
Yeah, and at receiver, you got the number 1 wide receiver, number 2, Carlos Iglesias. Had an incredible 75-yard touchdown grab where he leaped over and mossed the defender and then took it 40 yards after that to the house. Robbie Lizama is out today, other starting receiver. So we'll see guys such as Stefan Barrero, Vic Perez, and Nico Vieto get more in the mix at wide receiver.
Yeah, Vic Perez, Stefan Barrero, and Nico Vieto have been heavily involved in the passing game. The past few weeks, we've seen Nico Vieto get a huge touchdown in the season opener for the Wolverines. He had not a 75-yard, I believe it was just over 50 yards from a pass from Alberto Mendoza.
Yeah, it was a read option play. It really shows what Coach Potts has done for the offense. Used to be a very simplistic scheme, but read option, Alberto Mendoza read the linebacker perfectly, threw a slant to Nico, who made a great play to outrace the MacArthur safety to the end zone. So we expect to see more of those young receivers today. I mean, Robbie Lizama was the top guy, so it's a big loss. So we'd love to see those young guys step up.
Yeah, and at quarterback, expect to see the multi-quarterback system come into effect with Mendoza and Miades, as you mentioned. So when it comes to defense, what do you think? Who do you think are a few players that we should keep our eye out for?
I mean, you got to keep your eye on the freshman defensive end, Gavin Schmarsland. First game of the season, had 11 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and even last week against Gulliver, he was in the Gulliver backfield on almost every play, and that's a team with Division I caliber offensive tackles. You can see his burst and his strength coming off the edge. 6'2", 210, and only a freshman. He's in 9th grade. He'll continue to fill out, and I think he may be the best defensive player for the Wolverines this season.
Another key defensive player for Belen is Jansen Wallace, the defensive back who had a huge pick six, a crucial pick six in the first week against Archbishop McCarthy.
Another freshman I'd like to point out. This team is very, very young, and that's one thing that they're going to continue to develop over the season. And these players are only going to get better. They'll fill out more. This is a team that by the end of the year I expect to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, the front seven and secondary has looked pretty good so far this season. Obviously, there's a few improvements that need to be made. But when it comes to the secondary, you got Jansen Wallace, Luis Consuegra, the junior, and Nick Perez Abreu, the senior.
I mean, I've personally been more impressed with the front seven than the secondary. I mean, run stuffs. They've just been living in the opponent's backfield. Constant pass rush. Seems like every play there's a guy in the backfield, and that makes life really, really tough on an opposing quarterback.
Now let's talk about the special teams unit for the Wolverines. We saw them struggle last week against Gulliver a little. They had some miscues, some penalties were called on them.
Yeah, a couple bad snaps too. In fact, one bad snap was low and led to punter Noah Zumbano catching it with one knee on the ground, making it a turnover and setting up Gulliver at the Belen 11-yard line, pretty much giving them a free touchdown. So let's see how that special teams. It was more of a long snapper issue. Zumbano was pretty good and consistent throughout the night. So let's see if those snaps are able to get to the caliber they need to be at.
And when it comes to kicking field goals, we had Oliver Romanach out for an injury last game. So we saw Alejo Bedeta step in for him. He had a few nice kicks, made the extra points, had a few touchbacks. But now he's questionable. Something's wrong with his hip apparently. And it'd be interesting to see if he even plays today.
Yeah, if he's not able to go, then I expect to see Noah Zumbano also handle the kicking duties, which is a role he's never really been in before. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for him.
So the Wolverines, this is going to be a big game for them. Trying to redeem themselves off of a tough and disappointing loss. Many people really did expect them to struggle against Gulliver. They're looking to come out on top this week.
Yeah, this game is kind of like a test. You lost 42-7 last week after a big win, kind of a deflating loss right there. But are you going to come out better from it? Are you going to learn from it and go out and dominate Sommerset? Or are you going to fall back into that mentality and start to lose confidence and struggle against a Sommerset team that is definitely inferior to Gulliver?
Yeah, so far we've covered pretty much both sides of the ball and the special teams. So there's a lot to look forward into this game. And the coaching staff is another thing that we should keep our eye on. Head coach Don Shaney has so far looked brilliant, coaching this team, in his only in his first official season. Last year he coached, I believe, 2 games or 1 game. We also have a new offensive coordinator with Coach Potts, who you mentioned, who's been fantastic with his play calling. It's a very different football team for Belen this year compared to last year.
Yeah, that Coach Potts scheme is incredible, and I expect it to only get better as the season goes on, because think about it, with the coronavirus offseason, it was a short amount of time to actually put in that offense, and with a bunch of young players learning a complex spread offense, it might not fire on all cylinders right away, which is something we might have seen last week. So this offense will only get better throughout the progression of the season as they're able to install more packages and have the players pick up more cleanly on the schemes.
This offense has a very bright future as well. They have a lot of freshmen that are getting involved in the receiving core and the running back core, and even with their quarterback. So there's a lot to look forward to there.
Yeah, I mean, this offense, it can be explosive. Especially watch out for number 5, starting running back Kamani Alexander. Last week had a 50-yard catch and run, a 30-yard run. I mean, if there's anybody who's going to break plays, who's really going to make those big plays to that Belen offense, it's him. He might be the fastest guy on the team already as a freshman. I mean, we really have some standout freshmen. This Belen team is young, very, very young, and they're going to develop great together. By their senior year, this team could be really, really good.
Yeah, Kamani Alexander is really impressed when it comes to creating some space in the open field, which we saw him get a few plays last week against Gulliver. That catch that you mentioned, he caught it after about a 10-yard pass and then was able to result into a 30-yard play, 40-yard play. So we have a few minutes till the game starts, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, Wolverines fans, to Belen Jesuit football.
Jose, what do you think are what are your keys to the game today for this Belen team?
Well, they need to get their offense going early on, which we really didn't see last week, and we saw that negatively affect them. They didn't have as much momentum early on compared to the previous week against Archbishop McCarthy, where the offense was able to get going immediately, like right once the game started. Their offense was clicking. So that's one key. And then the defense, the front seven needs to be in the backfield all day. They need to live in the backfield today.
I really agree with that point about the front seven. When the front seven's in the backfield, it causes losses of down, puts them behind the chains, and then that leads to 3 and outs. And what we saw a lot in the first game was offense living off defense, getting great field position, and that set them up to score really easily, something we'd love to see a lot of this week, and it starts with the penetration of that front seven.
We also need to see less penalties with the Wolverines this week, especially when it comes to special teams.
Agreed. Holding, all sorts of. They got called for a chop block on defense, which was definitely questionable. But we'll see a lot of. We just need to see the Wolverines clean up their game today.
So the Wolverines will be receiving the ball first.
Isaiah Fuller and Louis Consuegra back to receive the kick.
We're going to be able to see this Wolverines offense immediately today.
Important for them to get off to a good start.
Beautiful Thursday night. Here's a return for the Wolverines. And he takes a big hit, and he's able to break free. There he goes on the sideline. He's taken out of bounds.
Impressive kick return by Fuller. Looked like he was waiting for that ball to go out of bounds, but it managed to stay in, almost tight-roping the sideline, and spun away from 3 Sommerset defenders to get a 20-yard return. That's big. The offense seems to really click when they have good field position. They don't have to be backed up towards their own end zone. So starting off at the 34 is big instead of starting off at the 12-yard line.
So here we are with the Wolverines offensive unit.
It's going to be important to watch how Alberto Mendoza does today. And it's going to be to see how short of a leash the staff has on Mendoza. Will they pull him if he starts struggling? Will they go to Miades? Those substitution patterns, especially at quarterback, will be very interesting to keep an eye on today.
Yeah, so far this season, we've seen both quarterbacks, Alberto Mendoza and Andres Miades, play in each game. Pretty much, Andres Miades so far has had the edge in the amount of reps he's gotten, but Mendoza's gotten quality.
Yeah, it looked like Mendoza kind of took that advantage back in the second game against Gulliver. First game was almost purely Miades. So, and here he is as the starter, so obviously he must be doing something in practice, too, must be playing really well. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic works out today. Mendoza, accurate passer, tight window kind of guy. Miades has the big arm. They both have their strength, and it's interesting if Coach Cheney is able to use them both to fit respective situations in the game.
See what this offensive line for the Wolverines has got to offer. We saw them last week struggle a little against that Gulliver powerful and explosive front seven. So let's see what they can do today. Mendoza's going to hit his receiver on the screen, and he's taken down after a pickup of 5 yards.
Runs up to the 41-yard line, but there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's a screen pass to wide receiver Carlos Iglesias. Really well set up. 4 on 4 on the outside. Wide receivers make their blocks on the man. Iglesias gets tackled one-on-one. Solid first down pickup. A lot of times last week we saw 2nd and 11, 3rd and 12 for this Belen team, setting back their ability to use the running game. But in 2nd and 4, the defense has to prepare for anything here. However, there is a flag on the play.
This is something you really don't want to see from this Wolverines offense. Any penalties can hardly affect
Wolverines. Personal foul on Sommerset. Those will offset.
So the penalty is called on Sommerset and the Wolverines. So penalties were offset. Carlos Iglesias with that 5-yard pickup. Oh no, they're just going to replay the down because the penalty's offset. So Carlos Iglesias last week and the previous week has looked exceptional.
Those last 2 touchdowns, that touchdown catch last week was maybe the best I've seen out of a Belen receiver. Stole the ball to the defender's hands and took it 75 yards for a touchdown. It was a bright spot in a dark game.
Mendoza rolls out, looking downfield, and he's sacked for a loss of yardage.
Yeah, design rollout to the right there. Looked like he might have had a guy or two downfield, was going through his progressions, may not have been the first or second option. But once again, this is something that we saw a lot from Belen last week. 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 17. They got to stay ahead of those chains in order to keep that run game available, keep the defense biting on the play action, and making sure that they can't just sit back in coverage and wait for Mendoza to throw.
And this is when the passing game is going to be most effective, in these long down conversions, which we saw, as you mentioned, Belen get into a lot last week.
Yeah, it's 2nd and about 20. You'd love to pick up 11, 9, 10 yards. Just make this 3rd down manageable so you know that you're not just throwing a fly out deep or hoping Kamani Alexander can make something crazy happen.
Hits his receiver again, who's able to pick up a solid gain. Carlos Iglesias again, that's his 2nd target today and 2nd reception.
Looked like about 8 yards there. Similar concept to what they ran on the first play that was canceled by the penalties, just to the other side. 3 receivers out there, 3 defenders, 2 good blocks by the receivers, and Iglesias just runs at his guy who's playing off coverage just to get a nice 8-yard pickup instead of a manageable 3rd down.
Mendoza drops back. He's going to feel pressure. It's a screen pass. Hits Marky Reeds, who's able to pick up the 1st down.
That's actually Carlos Iglesias again. That's 3 screen plays that run to Iglesias. That one was a really cool concept. Looked like they faked a screen to Alexander out in the flats, letting all the defensive linemen in. Throwback screen to Iglesias. Good blocks by the receivers again, which is something I've been really impressed with by this young wide receiver core. Great physical blocking and a huge conversion on 3rd and 10.
It's a big pickup for the Wolverines as they're able to move the chains downfield. It's now almost at the 50-yard line. Motion in the backfield. Mendoza hands it off up the middle, and a few yards picked up for the Belen Jesuit.
Looked like a nice little, Kamani Alexander took what the defense gave him, got tripped up. Nice hole opened up by the interior offensive line. Sets up 2nd and 6. Once again, good 4-yard pickup. Stay ahead of the chains. Give your offense the opportunity to be balanced. Just make sure that defense can't just be preparing for one thing.
Mendoza hands it off again up the middle.
That's Hayden Puente. We saw him get shut down a lot last week. It seemed like every time he run the ball, his thing in the first game was that he would not go down on first contact. He would break off big runs, breaking tackle after tackle. But with a more physical front in Gulliver, you couldn't see as much as that last week. Looks like he broke a couple of tackles there, but bad offensive line blocking led to him only gaining maybe 1 yard. So that'll be important to track, as he's like their physical 3rd and 1 kind of guy that's really important to this run game.
Yeah, and if Puente is not able to gain any yardage, they can always go to Kamani Alexander, the explosive, speedy running back. Mendoza, he's going to roll out again. And he's going to send it, and it's caught. And a big 1st down for the Wolverines as that'll move the sticks yet again.
Nice pass. That's one of the good things about Mendoza. Very cerebral quarterback. Went through all his progressions. Found what looked like the 3rd lead. The 3rd read to freshman Victor Perez, who was able to find a seam in that defense and turn up field for about 10 yards to get into Sommerset territory.
Victor Perez, a quick, fast receiver who we've seen lining up this year at wideout very often. Mendoza hands it off again.
Mendoza's actually going to keep it. Good read on the options. The defensive end crashed on the running back. Picked up a nice little 3-yard gain there. Sets up 2nd and 7. Good read by Mendoza. Just took what the defense gave him. Good job getting down and sliding. Do not want to see the quarterback get hurt in that kind of situation.
The Wolverines pounding the ball down this Sommerset Academy defense. Mendoza rolls out. He's going to send this one downfield, and it's caught. Touchdown, Wolverines. The Belen Jesuit Wolverines are on the board.
What a great start to the game by Belen. Great job by Mendoza. Off his back foot, launched it 32 yards in the air. He convinced the whole defense that he was going to run, and that quarterback started coming up. But just as he was behind the line of scrimmage, he made a great throw, and that's 3 games, 3 touchdowns for Iglesias. Long touchdowns in every game. He is starting to make himself a clear leader for that number 1 Belen receiver.
Carlos Iglesias, a standout receiver for Belen, off to a great start. He has 3 receptions with a touchdown now.
And we are going to see the punter, Noah Zumpano, come out for kicking duties with Alejo Beteta hurt. Let's see how he does in his first kick at Belen.
That kick is blocked.
And the kick is no good. Noah Zumbano misses his first kick.
Strike first.
Looked like it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Didn't get out of the end zone. I think some bad blocking on the interior. Maybe a Sommerset defensive lineman got a hand up. But even with that, that is a special teams miscue, which we talked about. Belen having to clean up. But even with that, great start for the Belen offense. I mean, even with penalties pushing them back, they were able to get that offense going. Carlos Iglesias, Vic Perez, Kamani Alexander, spreading the ball around. Great blocking, great fundamentals by the wide receiver. Mendoza threw that deep touchdown. Impressive throw on the run. I mean, that's exactly how Coach Potts scripted it.
Yeah, we saw that play where Mendoza had to roll out towards the sideline a few times during that drive, and it obviously worked really well.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that concept because it gives Mendoza the opportunity to run and three receivers in that area against what look like against the coverage. It may confuse some defenders, mix up assignments. Just really, really well done. And just another example of the innovative scheme that Coach Potts is inputting that creates favorable matchups for this team.
So the Wolverines to kick it off now with a 6-0 lead with about 7 minutes and 48 seconds left in the first quarter.
See, Noah Zumbano's first ever kickoff as well as the Belen Wolverine.
The sophomore kicker. And a decent kick here. It's a returnable one. And here comes Sommerset. Wow, and a speedy returner. And he was able to get past the 30-yard line, take it down just short of the 40.
Yeah, Zumbano's a football player, so a former soccer player, so he shouldn't be out of his realm here as a kicker. Nice kick down to about the 11-yard line. Great play by a special teamer to make a one-handed tackle. Looked like number 45 there because he's at the 35-yard line with a lot of green grass, the Sommerset returner. That may be a big, big return if that tackle's not made. So great job by special teams to clean up.
So we're going to get a look now at the Wolverines' defense, trying to bounce back from a tough loss against Gulliver. So a decent pickup there for...
Yeah, put the wide receiver in motion, handed it off on a jet sweep. Good job by Belen defense, contained the edge, read the jet sweep, didn't fall for the play action, and just able to get to that outside. Fast Belen defense, fast physical defense, able to get the outside, keep it to a 5-yard stop.
So the defensive front and the linebackers have looked phenomenal so far throughout the season. They're looking to continue that quality performance.
Penalty here. I think it's going to be offsides on Belen. Yes, it is. Encroachment on the Belen Wolverines. Jump before the snap. I think that's going to be a first down for Sommerset. It's going to move the chain.
Yeah, that's something that we were talking about. That was a key to the game. Belen cannot have penalties. As many penalties as they did last week.
Got to play a clean game. That's beating yourselves, giving Sommerset a first down. Curious to see how the D responds.
They're going to run the ball up the middle, and the running back is stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Really good response by the Wolverine defense. That's what we're used to seeing in that first game by that front seven. Defensive tackles plug the run game, take up offensive linemen. Linebackers crash hard, stop that running back. Really, teams have really struggled to run it on Belen up the middle. Good job by the defense. Good job by the front seven as a whole to stop that for a short gain.
Another flag on the play.
So flag on the play again.
That's number 73, Ian Johnson, who jumped. I think that's going to be the second encroachment call on Belen on this first drive.
It'll be on Ian Johnson.
Really good job by Sommerset with the snap count, but these Belen defensive linemen have to be more disciplined with their play. That's free 10 yards for Sommerset. 2nd and 9 changes to 2nd and 4. That's a drastic change, especially this early in the game.
Here comes Sommerset. They're going to run the ball up the middle again with J.K. Cooper. And he picks up a few yards there.
Once again, good stop by the Belen front seven. Running it up the middle is very, very difficult on this Belen team. Gulliver had a little more success running it to the outside, but they also had a top-level running back in Cedric Urban. This front seven just plugs holes really, really well, and I think Sommerset's going to have to throw a little more if they want to win this game.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of pressure put on the secondary if they start to throw the ball. Secondary got a lot of action last week against three-star Carson Haggard. They struggled a bit, but overall did not look too bad.
Yeah, I mean, those Gulliver receivers are really tough to deal with. You got nationally ranked guys out there, so it's not.
Flags on the play.
So this looks like it's going to be a false start on Sommerset.
That is a big, big penalty.
Yes, they were about to pick up a first down, just a few yards away, but a false start called on them.
Looked like there was a hole up the middle for the run play. Would have been about a 7-yard gain, but this changes it from a very easy to convert 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 7, where the corners can kind of expect a pass. I expect the defensive linemen to pin their ears back and just take a good rush at the quarterback. Really love to see a sack here for field position purposes. Get that Belen offense a better starting chance and make it easier for them to score a touchdown.
And these penalties that are being called on Sommerset, this Wolverines defense needs to capitalize off of them, which they really couldn't last week when Gulliver got any penalties called on them. They weren't really able to capitalize, so they need to change that now.
Yeah, your opponent's not going to shoot themselves in the foot many times like that, so you have to take advantage of the opportunities when they're due. If they're beating themselves, let them beat themselves and do your jobs. Don't.
To get back to the line of scrimmage, might have picked up a yard there.
Yeah, the run blocking for Belen has not been great so far. I mean, the runs really have not picked up much, maybe a high of like 4, a lot of 0 yard, 1 yard, -1 yard. The pass game looks to be firing on all cylinders, but hopefully the run game improves, get some balance in the offense.
Has back to throw. Down the sideline. Oh, and in and out of the hands.
It looked like he had got it there.
Once again, beautiful throw by
Estefan
Giannis. Great
Borrero.
release by sophomore wide receiver Stefan Borrero.
Good throw by Andres Villares.
Looked like it was right in his
But an
hands. May
incomplete
have been
pass.
knocked out by the defender. May have just been a drop there.
To bring up
That's
third
a missed
down and
opportunity
9.
for Belen.
Coach Potts showing a lot of trust in him.
I mean, he's made 2 beautiful throws. That one probably should have been caught by Borrero.
Again in shotgun formation. This time a big 3rd down. The Wolverines are going to get another touchdown or just more points on the board.
But really, really good throws by Miatis. He looks impressive.
32-yard line. And the
Wolverines with
first
great
down.
field position right now. Just short of the 30-yard line right now.
Got 3 wide receivers, a running back, and a tight end.
Seems some motion in the backfield. Yeah, it is. So they hand it off. Oh! And a big first down there for the Wolverines.
That's the
Hayden
hate.
Pointer.
That's the Hayden point that we saw in the first game. 20-yard run there, maybe his longest of the season. Cut back lane, broke a couple tackles, and just once he got that open space, he used his speed to take off into the secondary. Got tripped up. If the run game gets going, this already scary pass offense will just get better and better, as though teams will be worried about the run. That run by Hayden Puente is really, really impactful.
Yeah, and that play was eventually going to work. That was like about the 5th time they've ran that same play with Hayden Puente, just running it up the middle. And
Yeah,
it's obviously eventually going to work, especially with a power running back like that.
With a running back with that kind of strength and that caliber, I mean, that's a guy who, no matter how many times you try to tackle him, no matter how many times you hit it, he will always just try to keep his legs moving and advance. He did it there. Beautiful cutback into a bunch of open space. Looked like a big Sommerset defense left a big hole up the middle. Able to take it into the secondary, and they just got to keep breaking runs like that. This offense looks really good.
Wolverines, they're going to get into the end zone. And there's Miatis under the center. He pitches it to Kamani Alexander. He tries to cut back in, but it's taken down.
Good pitch. Good play design there by Coach Potts. Love to get an athlete like Kamani in space. Always. Maybe a missed block or 2 by the wide receiver. Looks like 2 corners were there immediately to tackle Kamani. Not something you expect to see.
Andres Miatis driving the ball down this Sommerset defense. In shotgun formation, he's looked very good so far. He's going to send it to the end zone, and it's incomplete. It's out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like they ran a little rub concept there on the outside. Used Carlos Iglesias to shield off Victor Perez's defender. Victor Perez looking like a really early favorite target, number 2 guy out here, along with Carlos Iglesias for these Belen quarterbacks. But the ball was just overthrown. Good throw to the corner. Really, really tough throw to make, dropping it in between two defenders. Just out of bounds, but once again, good execution by this Belen offense.
And this Miatis really spreading the ball around with all his receivers. We've seen Stefan Borrero, Carlos Iglesias, and Victor Perez get some targets today. He's going to send it to the end zone. It's overthrown yet again.
Again, another seam concept right there against the zone defense. Looked like they beat it, had Carlos Iglesias in between the first level and the second level of the defense. But just overthrown from Miatis, as Carlos Iglesias was able to get one hand on it but could not come down with the catch. Now this is where you see the impact of kicker Alejo Beteta being out. Zumbano missed the last extra point. I don't think they trust him to kick a field goal from this far. They're going to go for it on 4th and 8. A bold decision here from Coach Chaney.
Yes, Alejo Beteta has an issue with his hip. You know, did a weird movement. So he's out for today. So expect the Wolverines, if they're rather close to the end zone, to go for it.
Yeah, it looks like the Sommerset defense was not expecting that, and for good reason. I mean, it's 4th and 8 on about the 19-yard line. Most teams usually like to kick from here, but they're going to call a timeout.
So a minute and a half left in the first quarter with a timeout. The Wolverines up 6-0, and they're looking to extend that lead, possibly get to 13-0.
Jose, what's your impression on this Belen offense so far?
So far, fantastic play calling by Coach Potts, and Andres Miares and Alberto Mendoza have really executed that play calling, and the receivers have looked phenomenal. And the running backs also, you know, we've seen Kamani Alexander. He's done a solid job, and Hayden Puerta just had that big 20-yard run, which is able to put Belen in good field position.
I really, really love Coach Potts' scheme. It reminds me a lot of spread coaches in college, such as Mike Leach or Dan Mullen, where they run the same play, basically the same route concepts out of different formations, and really confuse the defense, especially if they're struggling to stop those route concepts. Just keeping it simple. And if it works, which it has, it works, and that's something we're seeing from this Belen offense.
And it's also pretty interesting how they use both quarterbacks, Alberto Mendoza and Andres Miares, to sort of throw off the defense. Miares is going to hit his receivers wide open. Touchdown Wolverines. It's a 12-0 lead.
It looks like Sommerset was in man coverage there, an obvious coverage bust as the tight end, Gabriel Valadares, was running straight up the seam. That's a big guy, huge frame, speedy tight end. Perfect throw by Miatis, and the risky decision to go for it on 4th and 8 pays off. I mean, that was just a beautiful throw, beautiful play calling, and they're going to send the offense to go out there for 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they really don't kick it at all throughout the rest of this game with their 2 kickers out, but wow, Miatis and Mendoza both look in command, receivers running wide open. This is what Coach Potts had to pretty much, this is like the best case scenario for him coming into this game.
There was a tight end, Gabriel Valladares, who stands at 6'3" and weighs 220 pounds. He has great frame, as you mentioned, and there he was able to get his first touchdown on the season.
That's a big guy. I mean, you give it to him, he's tough to bring down, good route runner, make things happen, and once again, you saw that same seam concept from Coach Potts, and once again, a receiver running wide open through that Sommerset zone.
And a great play call, as Coach Potts obviously realized that Sommerset was not able to play good defense against that seam concept. So they just ran it again, and it resulted in a touchdown.
Looks like Belen's going to go 5 wide here from the 2-yard line of the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, this sends it to the end zone. A wide open receiver again. Kamani Alexander with a 2-point conversion. It's 14-0.
Beautiful rub concept. Kamani Alexander lined up on the slot, ran a post corner. The Stefan Borrero lined up to the left, ran a slant. The 2 defenders seem to jar each other. Just throw Kamani's defender off track, leaving him wide open in the back corner. Good throw dropped in by Miatis. I mean, this Belen defense, this Belen offense, really simplistic, spread out, fast, and impressive.
So we're going to see Noah Zumbano kick it off again for the Wolverines. He had a solid kick last time. So it's a 14-0 lead in the first quarter with about a minute and 20 seconds left. This Wolverines offense and defense so far look impeccable.
Yeah. The offense, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. I mean, they're not folding after the game last week. They really showed a lot of promise in the second half. They could just clean up snaps, penalties. They've done that so far today. Resilient team, bouncing back from that kind of loss.
So the Wolverines defense looking to get another stop to again this drive. try to protect that 14-point lead that the Wolverines have. And a decent kick there by Noah Zumbano. It's a fair catch.
Yeah, it looked like a pooch kick right there by Zumbano to the up man. Really well executed. I mean, you don't want to get it back to those deep returners. You saw what he could do, especially on a shorter kicks. I mean, you saw what he could do. Last return brought out to about the 35. Almost broke it for a lot more. Give it to the up man. Not really a fast guy, more of a blocker. Fair catch. Sets him up at the 20-yard line. Well executed by Zumbano.
The front seven so far today has looked really good. You know, they're putting pressure on this offensive line, and the quarterback have forced tough passes. That's really hard to make, you know, back throwing the pass on the back leg for the quarterback. And the secondary has also done really good, you know, not letting any receivers get behind them.
Yeah, those two leaders on the defensive line, senior Mariano Brito and freshman Gavin Marsland, been in the backfield consistently. I think Marsland may be a D1 player when it's said and done.
Yeah, Marsland so far has looked great. He's only a freshman. Jakey Coop hurdles a player. And he's taken down. Not really a big gain there.
Looked like a wide receiver. Looked like a wide receiver sweep right there. Not a big gain, but a really impressive run. Belen defenders all throughout the game, all throughout the backfield, and just able to hurdle a defender just to pick up 3 yards. Nice run there.
Some flags on the play.
Again with the snap count, I think they bit Belen into an encroachment. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the second time this is called on Belen Jesuit. Third time. Something Belen is going to need to change.
Yeah, 3 offsides penalties. They're doing a good job with that clap, but not that good.
Jakey Coop. And he's taken down after a pickup of a few yards.
Really good tackle right there by the senior defensive back, Alex Ortiz. I've been impressed with him on the outside. Looks like he's really in position, sound tackler. Love to see that out of the Belen defense. That's the kind of guys they produce.
Yeah, Alex Ortiz so far has had a great season. You know, today that's his second tackle. They're going to hand it off again. And he is taken down just short of the line of scrimmage. He was able to pick up a gain of 1 yard.
That brings up 2nd down and 9. Once again, they ran that wide receiver sweep from the outside. Gave him a little toss. Big hit by the freshman defensive end, Gavin Marsland. He popped the dude at the end of the run. Nice job to keep it for a short gain.
Yeah, again, the freshmen are getting involved a lot defensively and offensively. And a nice run there for Sommerset.
Yeah, nice.
Cooper. So far, it looks pretty good.
Nice blocking by the offensive line. Able to get Cooper to the second level. Nice head-on tackle by Luis Consuegra. Looked like it may have been one-on-one right there. He had a really chance to really bust that one.
That'll be the end of the first quarter.
And that's the end of the first quarter. It's 14-0. The Belen Jesuit lead. So far, they've looked really good defensively and offensively. We haven't really seen the special teams get involved that much because their kickers are injured. So we've seen Noah Zumbano just go out and, you know, for the kickoffs. So what has been your main impression off of the offense so far in their play?
So Coach Cheney, Coach Potts, I love his system. I cannot understate how much good his system has done for this Belen program. Instead of the antiquated option wing T offense, it kept you in a lot of games, but really Belen just didn't have the physical talent to keep up with those against teams such as Columbus and Gulliver with that scheme, especially now that they lose Don Cheney. So going to an open passing offense like this with the seam concepts, wheels, rubs, all sorts of stuff you see from a traditional revolutionary spread offense. I mean, it's done wonders for this team. You see it putting up 14 in the first quarter with 2 passing touchdowns in a quarter.
So far, it's looked really good, and it's only the third game that they're using this offensive system. And the pass is caught. And a pickup of a few yards there for Sommerset.
Nice just pitch and catch over the middle. Great job by Belen defense. Rally to the football. Stop that from picking up anything else. Looks like there's some confusion on the field. About what, I'm not sure.
And we saw this a little bit last week with the refs. You know, they were never totally confident with the calls, which they had.
Yeah, yesterday we saw a couple picked up. Last week we saw a couple picked up flags. Looks like we might have a clock issue here.
Kevin, Bart is down on the sidelines. Get Bart.
Yeah, there is a clock issue. It still says there's 0 seconds
See him down there in the gray shirt?
in the first quarter left. So they're going to try to change that.
Yeah, refs huddling up, trying to
He's
figure
over
out
by the golf cart.
what's going on. This actually kind of acts like an extra timeout for both teams. As give their players kind of a break, give them a chance to get some water as they figure out the clock.
Yeah, it gives some rest to this defense, which has looked phenomenal so far today.
Defense has looked really, really good. I mean, defenders flying around the place, secondary. And, you know, I've been really impressed by the tackling of the secondary. Anytime it looks like they're going to get a deep pass or really break a run big, it seems like it's a safety or a corner up there making the tackle, making sure that running back doesn't get any farther than past the defensive line.
Yeah, we saw Alex Ortiz last drive get a nice tackle on J.K. Cooper, who looked like he was going to break free for about a 15-yard run, but Alex Ortiz was able to prevent that.
Yeah, and on this drive, they had a 9-yard run. It was Cooper versus junior defensive back Louis Consuegra. It looked like a 1v1, and honestly, if Consuegra didn't get the tackle, it would have been a big, big gain, but just hit him, went low, perfect tackle, well executed for him, stopped him dead in his tracks. Was able to prevent him from making a solid play, a really, really big play.
Consuegra has looked really, has had some good high IQ plays, you know, at the safety position. You know, it shows he's gotten a lot of experience with varsity football ever since the beginning of his sophomore season. He was playing varsity, and, you know, I believe part of his freshman season, he was also playing in varsity. So some more confusion on the field. Not really sure what's going on between the refs here. And they're going to move the ball back.
Looks like we...
And it might have been a penalty called on...
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct on Sommerset. That's really unnecessary. I mean, 2nd and 4, that offense was set up well. 2nd and 19 is not being set up well.
And that's the second time Sommerset has had a penalty called on them when they're about to pick up a first down.
Yeah, it looks like Belen's not the only team committing some weird penalties.
And the quarterback faces pressure, and he's able to evade it.
Great tackle.
And a nice tackle there by the Wolverines.
Looks like there may have been some double handoff action going there. Number 2, one of the running backs for Sommerset, was able to take it out. And once again, impressive tackling for the secondary. He had a chance to get a first down there after picking up about 13 yards. Louis Consuegra took him head on and made sure that he would not get any more than that.
Yeah, Louis Consuegra with the tackle there.
And now we're going to get a holding on Sommerset. That'll move them back even farther than where they were before and negates a big 13-yard run for them.
And just an endless amount of penalties being poured on this Sommerset offense, which can be very demoralizing.
That makes it 2nd and about 29.
And they're moving the ball back again. They might have gone in the yardage of that penalty off.
Really not a good position. If this Belen defense can just keep them here, it'll also set up the offense with awesome field position.
You know, expect Sommerset to pass the ball so the defensive front is going to have to put pressure here on the quarterback. And they're going to pass it. He's going to throw it down the field, and it's overthrown, but a flag is thrown on the play.
Looked like corner Isaiah Fuller got beat there on a fly route and just kind of threw out his body and lunged for the offensive player just to slow him down. I don't think that ball was catchable. It looked like it was way overthrown, but I think they're still going to call it pass interference on Fuller here.
Yeah, I really don't agree with the call. As you mentioned, it's not catchable. But obviously that's something that the cornerbacks really shouldn't be, you know, causing just penalties, like unnecessary penalties like that. And that's the second time Fuller has gotten beaten on a route. But so far he's looked great so far this season. You know, he hasn't allowed a touchdown yet, and he's looked very good for a senior.
Yeah, that'll be a 15-yard penalty. Not sure if it's a first down. Now, it looks like they're leaving it at 2nd down. But, yeah, Fuller's had a really good season. Surprised to see him beat like that, especially, I mean, it's a not great Sommerset passing attack.
Yeah, I really didn't expect that from him. Quarterback's gonna drop back again, hits his receiver, who's taken down.
Yeah, look at that. Really good play by Fuller there. He's playing an off coverage. Wide receiver runs a little curl. They get it to him. And then Fuller actually comes in and knocks the ball loose. Luckily for Sommerset, that ball went out of bounds. So before Belen had the chance to jump on it.
So in shotgun formation again is Sommerset. And that's going to be an offsides.
Can't do that on 3rd and 3. That's giving him a first down. You have a chance to get off the field. You give up a first pass interference on 2nd and 29. 3rd and 3, you shut down their run game the whole game. You have a chance to stuff them up the middle, get your offense the ball back. But their 4th offsides penalty will give Sommerset a first down.
And it looked like the call was on one of their Belen's interior defensive linemen.
They're really struggling with that snap count.
Sommerset's going to run the ball again with Jacob Cooper, who's wrapped up immediately. He might have picked up a few yards there.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. The way that the Belen defense has shut down this run offense, he gets 1 yard there. That's exactly why jumping on 3rd and 3 is even more costly. Instead of setting up a 4th down and 2, it's 2nd down and 9 now. Obviously, a way better position for Sommerset than they should be in.
So a big 3rd down here for Belen's defense. A big 2nd down.
2nd down and 9 here.
Another pass, and this is going to be a first down. He might have been all just short of the first down.
Once again, Zay Fuller deep and off coverage. Look like they may be running almost a cover 3 concept right there. And just a quick curl to the wide receiver. Not sure if they got the first down there. It's going to be close. But once again, good tackling by Zay Fuller.
Yeah, Zay Fuller, a scrappy cornerback who's really a great tackler.
Great worker.
Not really known as a coverage corner, but he's really good when it comes to tackling.
Oh, my God. That Belen defense is just blowing up this Sommerset run game. I mean, they run it up the middle a lot of times, and I don't think I've seen them pick up more than 1 or 2 yards. And just these defensive tackles, they've had their struggles with jumping off sides, but when that's not a problem, they are sticking their heads down and clogging this run game.
So this Belen defense looking pretty good so far, but Sommerset's been able to drive the ball on them on this drive.
Yeah, just penalties and bad tackling that's really cost them. No, not as much bad tackling, it's just penalties. This entire Sommerset drive is pretty much just built off penalties.
Yep.
Sloppy
Belen's
football.
defense, that was one of the keys of the game that we mentioned, that Belen really can't commit these penalties that are self-inflicted, which we've seen them do so far today. And, they could possibly have a bigger lead or, give the offense better opportunities with better field position. But we haven't really seen that because of all these penalties that this Belen defense has had called upon them.
Yeah, exactly. It's different if you get a holding because the defensive lineman just makes a great play than if you get a self-inflicted penalty like jumping off sides 4 times. They got to adjust the snap count somehow and limit those kind of mistakes.
Quarterback drops back. He's going to feel pressure, sends it downfield. And a flag is thrown. This is going to be a defensive pass interference most likely, as he threw that ball into triple coverage. Not really sure why he threw that ball. And he also put a lot of air under it, so it gave time for the secondary to just gather around the receiver, which it was intended to.
Yeah, 3 players in coverage there. I think this flag will be on number 8, senior Alex Ortiz. Had good coverage all the way, but just could not locate the ball. I think he just made a guess on when it was coming down to the receiver. Kind of just hit him, but he was there early, unfortunately. And that's 15-yard penalty and a first down.
So another penalty on Belen's defense.
Yeah, really all we've seen is a 1 or 2 yard run for Sommerset, maybe a 3-yard pass, maybe jet sweep, but besides that, it's been offsides and pass interference this whole drive.
So that play just strengthens your point that this drive for Sommerset has been built off of penalties, which were called on Belen.
Oh, Lord, another offsides for Belen. That's number 5. They've jumped offsides 5 times in the first half.
Another penalty. Something that Don Shaney, the head coach, most likely will be ripping into them
Yeah,
in the second half.
there's
during the
no
second
doubt
half.
he is not happy with his defensive line, picking up 5 offsides penalties in one half. They got to change that, or Don Chaney's going to make them change it.
So now Sommerset in the red zone. He drops, the quarterback drops back, sends it to the end zone. And it's incomplete. Great coverage there by the corner.
Looked like a nice release off the line by the wide receiver, but Zay Fuller used his speed to catch back up to him, and that was an awesome play by safety Luis Consuegra. Good throw to the corner by the quarterback, but Luis Consuegra read his eyes the whole way, got there right at the same time as the ball, and was able to hit the receiver to prevent the touchdown.
And not really a good read by the quarterback, as you would assume that the safety would really adjust to that play, and he was just staring down the receiver throughout that whole route, which really a quarterback should not be doing.
Yeah, as soon as he got that good release, I think it was his first read because he was staring him down. If he could have looked to the left side of the field, maybe he could have looked Consuegra off and he wouldn't have been in position to make that play. But Consuegra does a great job reading the eyes and body positioning of the quarterback, and good break on the ball, really to save what would have been a really nice touchdown.
Yeah, so Belen's defense is able to prevent a touchdown. It remains 14-0. So on the defensive side of the ball, who has impressed you the most?
Really? Luis Consuegra, probably. Besides the defensive line, I mean, Luis Consuegra, he's really impressed me with his tackling and his ball skills and range at free safety. He's been all over the place. If you see a play, the odds are Luis Consuegra is in the area, whether it's pass or run. So just really nice job by him in the defensive backfield.
He's also received a lot of praise from head coach Don Shaney and pretty much his whole coaching staff for the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, was already starting last year as a sophomore. He's really worked his way up and become one of the stars of this Belen defense.
And the handoff, the running back breaks a tackle, and he's able to pick up a first down. Something Belen really did not want to allow as he's inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, jet sweep, just a toss there to the running back, little pitch out in front. Gave him some momentum before he ran. Good blocks. Looked like he did a good job to evade some tackles by Belen. Not great defense there. So let's see this Belen defense try to get a goal line stand. We've seen multiple times teams have first and goal and not even be able to come away with points. So let's see if we can get a stop here.
And it looks like it's a touchdown for Sommerset. It's now a one-possession game.
That's not what you want to see from this Belen defense. Just really, this wasn't really Sommerset marching down the field as much as it was Belen hurting themselves with penalties. But that's also a good thing. You can look at it because if Cheney and the coaching staff is able to clean up these penalties, besides that, the defense has played really good, and this Sommerset offense has not done much as a whole. So once that's cleaned up, which I know the coaching staff will clean it up, I have a really good feeling about how this defense will perform.
You know, there's been more yards. The Sommerset has gained more yards off of penalties than they have in total in their offense without penalties. So again, you know, that's something that if Belen's able to make that adjustment, can really benefit them in the second half.
I definitely think that the coaching staff, I mean, Belen has always been a really disciplined team. They've never been a team that struggled with penalties. I think, you know, it's just a young team. They get really excited playing, and the coaching staff will be able to clear that up. I mean, I'm sure Don will give them a strong message at halftime.
Yeah, so that's a big adjustment that's going to be needed in the second half.
So it's 14-7 with 8 minutes and 47 seconds left in the second quarter. Good start for Belen today. Really nice to see him not come out flat after getting killed by Gulliver. I think that may have inspired some motivation, especially for that offense.
Yeah, the offense so far has looked really good and fantastic play calling by offensive coordinator Coach Potts. And the quarterbacks have also looked really good. You know, Andres Miatis and Alberto Mendoza both have thrown touchdowns. So
yeah,
so
they each got a series, and they each really dominated. Miatis had more throws and was on point, difficult throws, good arm, good touch. Mendoza did a great job reading the defense, had that awesome 40-yard touchdown pass off his back foot to Iglesias. Really impressive command of the scheme, good pass blocking, good wide receiver play, and great scheming from Coach Potts. The offense is looking like a well-oiled machine right now.
So Belen's offense is going to have another opportunity to get some points up on the board. This kick is returnable.
That's Zay Fuller who's
Zay
returning the
Fuller.
kick.
So far, it's looked really good. Cuts back in, and he's taken down
He'll be tackled on the 22-yard
at the
line.
22-yard line.
That's about a 12-yard return. Really similar spot for that kick as the last one. Just kind of landed out in front of Zay Fuller on the ground. Looked like for a second it may go out of bounds, but was able to stay on the sideline. Nice job by Fuller to pick it up. Saw some defenders and was able to make something out of nothing.
Up to the 22-yard line. Wolverines to begin, 1st and 10.
So this Belen offense gonna have another opportunity to gain some yardage. Alberto Mendoza in at quarterback. Hits Kamani Alexander for a big first down, and he's in Sommerset Academy territory.
Another very similar concept to what we saw in those first two drives. Perfect throw from Mendoza. That is a difficult throw. Throwing it to the outside toward the sideline of the field. Put it right in the arms of Kamani Alexander. Tripped up a little and never even had to break stride. In fact, I think if he doesn't trip there, he might score a touchdown. I mean, the route running for this Belen team has been awesome with the scheme. They're constantly open, and good job by the quarterbacks to deliver it.
And that was the freshman Kamani Alexander, and he's been all over the field today offensively. Seeing him running the ball and receiving the ball. He's done a great job doing both of those.
I think he may be the future of this offense. He's a freshman, and I mean, that guy is someone who we will be keying in on these next 4 years. Just seeing him consistently, he's already overmatching senior defensive players as a freshman with his athletic talent. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him. He's one of the players on this team I really think could end up Division I players.
And there's multiple players who have very bright futures. And it's a lot of the freshmen that this Belen team has gotten. And so far they've looked great.
Yeah, it's a mix of some veteran leadership and some really good freshman talent. And that's a really, really good combination to have. It builds well-seasoned players and a good, disciplined, well-run team.
So Alberto Mendoza looking to get his second touchdown of the day. Mendoza is accounted for 1 touchdown.
It's like they're looking over the sideline, checking the play. Confusion here from the offense as Kamani Alexander splits out wide. 5-wide set here for the Wolverines.
I mean, this is the second time we've seen them line up like this offensively. And a timeout called by Belen.
Yeah, it looked like some confusion there from that Belen offense. Looked like the freshman running back Kamani Alexander wasn't sure exactly what he was doing on that play. Gonna catch the Wolverines on the timeout. But, I mean, it's a new scheme they're instituting, completely different scheme. That's the kind of stuff you expect from freshmen coming out of a short offseason. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more of it. The freshmen have been really good at executing this scheme.
Yeah, I definitely would have expected some more miscommunications with a brand new offense. You know, this is only the first year and the third game that they're running, that they're using this, spread offense, brand new offensive system with a brand new offensive coach, with brand new players also. Kamani Alexander has never played on this Belen Jesuit football team, and it's just a completely different outlook for the offense.
Yeah, even in college or the NFL, you see miscommunications, a throw that goes to nobody, just 2 receivers cross up their routes. And you just haven't seen much of that. This team looks really well run. It seems like the freshmen took advantage of their time in their house with quarantine and studied the playbook and really made the best of it.
So Alberto Mendoza in shotgun formation. Drops back. He's going to hit his receiver on a screen.
Mendoza throws for an incomplete pass.
It's incomplete. Good defense there by the Sommerset front as they were able to put a lot of pressure on Mendoza.
Yeah, the offensive line slipped out to block for the screen, and it looked like Iglesias may have had some space, but that defensive line for Sommerset looked really fast on that play. One of the defensive ends got through and got there just enough to force Mendoza to miss on that throw.
So it's a big second down here for Belen. Mendoza hands it off. Kamani Alexander picks up a decent gain there.
About 6 yards there. Nice pickup. Was hit in the backfield, but once again, keep the legs moving. Little spin move there. Subtle spin move. Keeps going. Sets up a 3rd and 4 instead of a 3rd and 10.
So it's a big 3rd down here for the Wolverines. And they're going to run it with Kamani Alexander again. He cuts in.
I love that play call from Coach Potts. All game you've been seeing us pass in these kind of situations, and this time we decide we're going to give it to one of our best offensive weapons. We're going to put our offense up against their defense and see who turns out a winner. And Kamani did a nice job pushing. I think it's going to be 4th and inches here, and Hayden Puentes coming in the game. Would not surprise me to see them hand the ball off to him, as he's almost a sure bet to get 1 yard every time.
Yeah, the power running back. You know, it's really rare to see him lose yardage when he's running. He's really good at breaking tackles. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here. Oh, and it looks like he might have been just short. Looks like we jinxed that play.
Yeah, good old announcer jinx. Offensive lineman, look like a little breakdown there up front. A couple defensive tackles got through. I mean, Hayden Puentes is not a guy who'll normally give you a breakout run, but he'll normally get you what you need. Surprised he didn't pick that up. I mean, love the call by the Belen offense. You're on the 36-yard line. Don't be conservative with it and punt on 4th and 1. No chance at a field goal. That was the only option there. Not a bad play call by the staff either. Just got to give it up to Sommerset there. Good defense.
So Noah Zumbano going out to punt the ball for Belen.
Out comes the Belen defense to start this Sommerset drive.
So that was 4th down. Sommerset Academy throws the ball and it's caught. It's incomplete.
They try to do the rollout concept that Belen has been running to great success. A couple defensive linemen got in the backfield. Once again, just subtle thing, forcing the quarterback to make that throw off his back foot. Really wasn't accurate towards the receiver on the sideline, out of bounds. Once again, good secondary play, good front 7 play, 2nd and 10. Good play all around.
And that's another offsides for the Wolverines.
Wow.
And that's an adjustment that is needed to be made.
I saw a couple defensive coaches jump on the sidelines at that one. They are fuming as Belen picks up their 6th offsides of the game. I mean, that must be the greatest clap count ever, because this Belen defense cannot stop jumping off sides.
And the quarterback takes a big hit in the backfield. And here's Jakey Cooper. He's going to break free. And he is out of bounds.
Wow. Well executed wide receiver screen there. Got it out. Another concept that Belen has been using. Just a 3-on-3. Got some offensive linemen out there. Good block by the wide receivers. Louis Consuegra had to range all the way from the other side of the field to get that tackle, just to keep it from being a long touchdown.
And I believe that was Reginald Everett with that big play there for Sommerset.
Yeah, we're going to get a timeout on the field, a water break here. What do you think so far? What are your thoughts on the game?
So far, the defense, they need to make adjustments with the penalties especially. And this defensive line, yeah, they need to make a lot of adjustments in the second half. I'm sure Coach Shaney's going to make them, succeed with those adjustments.
Yeah, the real issue is probably the 6 offsides penalties. I mean, that's almost unseen before. I don't think I've ever seen a team jump offside 6 times and a half. So, I mean, they got to clean that up. But you also, I love the aggressive mentality from the front 7. You got to think about not being offsides, but don't let that disrupt your pass rush, because these guys are looking to get aggressive jumps as soon as the ball is snapped so they can get into that backfield as quick as possible. You don't like the offsides, but you also don't want to see them tone down their aggressiveness. You got to find a balance.
So Belen Jesuit, their defense needs to prevent a touchdown here, as it's only 14-7. The crowd getting into it now. It's 1st and 10. And the running back is tackled for a loss of yardage there. Good defense there by Belen.
Yeah, once again, wide receiver came out of the slot, ran across the formation, little forward toss. That time, great gap penetration by that Belen front 7. As soon as he caught the ball, there were 2 guys there standing on top of him. He's not going to out-muscle them. They were ready to take him down. 2nd and 11 for Sommerset.
Belen Jesuit looking to get a stop here with 5 minutes left in the second half. it's a quarterback keeper here, and he bounces outside. And he's out of bounds for a big gainage of yards.
Yeah, quarterback keeper. Looked like Gavin Marsland had a chance to get him on the outside. Couldn't come up with the tackle. And this Sommerset offense has began to really move the ball. Major step up from their first few possessions.
Yeah, we're seeing the quarterback, Jonathan Croft, get involved more in the running game. He has a lot of speed that for some reason they weren't using earlier in the game.
Another flag on the play.
Wow, I think it's going to be the 7th offsides on Belen. If you're the defensive coaching staff, you have to be just so upset. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean,
there's some frustrating penalties.
5 yards.
7 offsides.
The Wolverine 6-yard line.
Wow.
So inside the 10 of Sommerset, another drive that has been built off of penalties. And it's a touchdown, and we got ourselves a ball game here. It's 14-13.
Pending the extra point. I mean, once again, they've been running that little jet sweep toss all game with the slot wide receiver coming out in front of the quarterback. They ran the same thing. I think it affected some of the eyes of the Belen defenders, the way they've been doing that all game as they followed the jet sweep man, allowing them to power it up the middle, making this 14-13. Good offense and good play calling by Sommerset.
So this extra point should make it a tie ball game with 5 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second half. In the first half. And the kick is good. It almost got blocked. And it's no good.
The kick is no good. That was freshman defensive end Gavin Marsden burst straight through. It looked like he threw a Sommerset guy out of the way. And just as he got up the middle, the kicker had to adjust the kick to avoid him and hooked it wide left.
And it looked like it had gone in from here, but it looked like he missed wide left.
Yeah, that preserves the lead for this Belen team. I mean, just help with their confidence, up 14-13. Who do you think comes out at quarterback here?
So far from what we've seen, each quarterback switches each drive. So I believe we should be seeing Andres Miares now, even though Alberto Mendoza has looked really good.
Yeah, they both look really good. Both put up a touchdown on the first drive. Mendoza got stopped on that 4th and 1 from about the 36 on the second drive, but still well run by him. Hayden Puente was stopped on 4th and 1. Interesting to see how Miares comes out.
Yeah, Miares has more of an arm than Mendoza, and they seem to throw the ball downfield more often with him.
Yeah, it seems a lot more reading and short concept routes with Mendoza versus deep passes, seams, wheels to the corner, post corners, because he just seems to have a stronger arm. It's really interesting to see the contrast in play calling with those two on and off the field.
Yeah, and that play calling, that strategy of using two quarterbacks who have a completely different play style, it's obviously working here. Here's a kick. Wow, a nice kick there on a line drive.
That's Victor Perez on the return.
Victor Perez, he has a lot of speed. And what a return as he's down just short of the 45-yard line. And that's something that this offense of Belen needs to capitalize on. Great field position.
That's something in the first game when everything was going right. The offense was consistently building off their field position to get short, quick drives. Right there you saw it. Victor Perez got the ball about the 10-yard line. Used his speed. Great blocking by the kickoff team. We're able to pick up 30 yards to get out to the 40. You're not going to get this kind of field position very often, so not something Belen wants to squander here.
So here comes Belen's offense. Miatis drops back, feels pressure, and he's wrapped up and taken down for a huge loss of yardage. If I was in there, I would have just rolled down and tried to throw the ball away, as you could have prevented a huge loss of yardage there.
Yeah, really good coverage. It looked like sophomore Nico Vieto ran a hitch route and was blanketed by the defender in press coverage. Iglesias ran deep on the seam again, but they double covered him. Nowhere to throw it there from Miatis. I didn't really think he had a chance to get outside. Just have to take that sack and come back on the next play.
Hayden Puente trying to power through this defense. Picks up a few yards there.
Hayden Puente with a handoff on 2nd and 20. Not exactly a speed back. I really think they were trying to catch the defense off guard there. Try to see if he can bust a hole in the secondary like he did last time. But a stop after about 2 to 3 yards. Interesting 3rd down and 16 here. Sommerset has scored in the last 2 drives. It's 14-13. Critical point of the game here for Belen.
I'm surprised that Somerset's corners are playing press coverage here, as I would expect Belen to throw the ball. And there needs a screen. That's Kamani Alexander, and he is taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, it looked like the defenders ran the screen really well. Only one guy really rushing the quarterback. They realized when the offensive line peeled off that it was probably too good to be true, that easy of an opportunity. They dropped back on the screen. 3 guys there as soon as Kamani caught it, and he can only do too much. Quick 3 and out for Belen. Really set up by that sack on 1st down.
So the special teams unit, the punting unit, comes out for Belen. Noah Zumbano had
a couple kickoffs so far for Zumbano. He's looked pretty good. Missed an extra point, but he's the punter. He shouldn't be expected to do too much with the kicking duties, just have some injuries. See how this punt looks.
And a very short punt here. And not a crazy bounce there. Decent bounce though. So it goes into Sommerset territory, but Sommerset going to start off with fantastic field position here.
Yeah, looked like a good snap there, which is something we did not see a lot of last week. About a 20-yard punt from Zumbano with a Belen bounce. Not something you really want to see there, but this is when this defense really has to prove themselves and step up. They can't jump off sides again. They got to slow down the Sommerset offense. I mean, the Sommerset really does not have a lot of time to score. They got 3 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Let's see if they can manage a quick, efficient drive, or if this Belen defense can step up to the task and get a stop.
So the crowd for the Wolverines trying to get into it, trying to make some noise. It's Belen defense. A lot of touchdown last drive, and another flag on the play.
This one's going to be on Sommerset. I think they're going to call a false start on the running back. So he jumped just a bit early on this play. Good to see Sommerset picking up one of these.
Yeah, and that's something Belen's defense needs to capitalize on again. They cannot have any penalties called on them. You know, and it's great if Sommerset gets a penalty called on them, obviously.
Yeah, Belen's been shooting themselves in the foot all game, and to see Sommerset doing it, Belen has to capitalize here.
So the quarterback drops back. He feels a lot of pressure. He's going to show off his speed here. Picks up a decent amount of yardage, probably about 5 yards.
Yeah, the defensive tackle, Mariano Brito Sr., was able to get in there and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. However, it looked like the right end lost contain. Not sure who it was, giving the quarterback a chance to pick up 11 yards with the scramble. That'll make it 2nd and 4.
Those Jonathan Croft, quarterback, we've seen him use his legs a few times today, and each time it results in positive yardage. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him run the ball more often rather than passing. A lot of noise coming from this crowd. Croft hands it off to J.K. Cooper. He's going to break free here, and there he goes. And he's taken down. Fantastic tackle there. But I believe that might have been Louis Consuegra or Nick Perez-Abreu.
You know, we've seen them bust a lot of runs. We've seen them run the ball up the middle a lot and just get stuffed, but the defensive tackle is not able to get the same penetration there. Large hole opened up, and the safety, number 28, sophomore Lucas Amaya, saved a touchdown. And it looked like there's a defensive lineman down.
And this is something you don't want to see, especially this early in the season.
A lot of screaming from the crowd. Not sure what's going on.
Hey, guys. Hey, gentlemen, I need you to cool it. Gentlemen.
A lot of tempers flaring in the stands. I think there may be a little fighting going on here.
A lot of stuff going on now in the crowd. Not really sure what's happening.
Injured player down. All the Belen players on a knee. You do not want to see this. Still on the ground. Finally standing up now. Not sure who it is. Can't really make it out. That's number 73, Ian Johnson. Got injured last game too, but he came back, and it's good to see him walking off on his own power. Probably not a serious injury, so that's good to see. Maybe just cramping.
Yeah, it might have cramped up there.
10 on the Wolverine 28-yard line.
So this is a big possession for the Wolverines. They need to get a stop. Can't let Sommerset take the lead. Croft is going to drop back, hits a receiver,
Great defensive play.
and a nice play there by Isaiah Fuller, the corner.
Wow, that was some of the most impressive coverage I've seen all day. Press man right up with him in the line. Receiver versus corner. He just tried to run by him. Awesome use of the hands at the line of scrimmage. Running from, it looked like Zay Fuller was the one who was playing receiver there. And almost came away with the interception. Dropped the pick.
So Isaiah Fuller having a heck of a game today.
Starting at
That's a
outside corner, yeah.
Has a few tackles and has a few batted down passes. Playing great coverage. Wolverines need to stop.
Flags on the play.
So just under 2 minutes and a half. Flags thrown on the play. This could possibly result in a false start.
Yeah, second false start on the drive for Sommerset after welcome change, because on the first few drives, Belen had picked up 7 offsides penalties, but it seems that they have adjusted, and Sommerset is the one who's having some problems now. Once again, putting him behind the chains for 2nd and 15.
There's on Manny Lagallo.
So a long second down.
2nd down and 15.
2nd and 15. Croft drops back. He feels pressure. And he throws it away. It's incomplete.
Pass.
My God. Did you see the freshman defensive lineman, Gavin Schmarsland? Took an offensive lineman one-on-one and threw him to the ground, just barreled him over.
Closing in on the quarterback.
I mean, and then multiple guys having pressure on the quarterback. Bad job by that Sommerset offensive line. Great job by that D-line. Pretty much just a throwaway for the quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback did a great job of throwing the ball away, so he could have gotten sacked for a loss of about 4 to 5 yards.
3rd and 15 here with Sommerset in borderline field goal range. Big play.
So it's a 3rd and long. A lot of noise from this rowdy crowd. Croft.
Pass is thrown, but he is stopped.
And
at the
he's
30-yard
stopped.
line, short of the first down.
Screen
And a
pass
huge-
right there. On 3rd and 15, the linebacker runs up and makes an awesome play in coverage. No chance for the running back, and beautiful one-on-one tackling.
Yeah, great defense there by the Wolverines as they read that play perfectly.
Bring up 4th down.
Impressive use of the eyes by the linebacker, not to be fooled and just try to rush the quarterback with all the offensive linemen flooding out.
So that was a big stop.
Timeout here by the
Called by the Wolverines.
Belen defense. Okay, so you're the coach. It's 4th and 11 here. What are you thinking?
Play resumes. It'll be 4th
You know, if Sommerset ends up going for it,
from the Wolverines.
obviously
29-yard
cannot let them
line.
get the first down. But if they end up kicking the field goal, which I doubt they'll do, is that would be a very long field goal from there. You know, this will bring some momentum to the defense and the offense. You know, this offense has been struggling in the past few drives, haven't really been able to drive the ball successfully and move the ball downfield. So, you know, this can gain them some momentum.
Yeah, I expect a nice pass rush by Belen and a lot of man coverage across the board with maybe a safety and single high to help prevent the deep pass. But another key thing here, you're saying it, if the defense, you said it, if the defense gets a stop, it gets the offense an opportunity to get the ball and make something happen. We've seen them have quicker drives.
Down and send their offense back on the field.
Big momentum play right here.
Cheer it for your defense.
So a crucial 4th down here. Croft drops back. He feels pressure. He's going to send it downfield.
Oh, almost intercepted.
And it's nearly picked off. It's incomplete. The Wolverines got a huge stop.
You know, great range by the safety, but it's probably for the best that that ball wasn't picked off. An interception there gets the ball down at the 6-yard line, but stopping him on 4th down gets him the ball to 30. We're actually very lucky that Perez Abreu did not come away with that
First and 10.
interception. And now the Wolverines will get 1 minute and 35 seconds to drive down the field and score a touchdown. Alberto Mendoza back out at quarterback. 2-minute drill. Good to see some experience here for the freshman quarterbacks in a 2-minute drill.
Yeah, expect some quicker routes rather than throwing the ball downfield, especially with these speedy receivers. Mendoza drops back, and he overthrows his target. It's incomplete, threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, running back Kamani Alexander right there. It looks like an outbreaking post corner. Wasn't much there. Probably the best. He wasn't really open if that throw was delivered on time. There's a safety waiting for him right there. Probably for the best that ball just went over his head out of bounds.
So today, Kamani Alexander has become, a threat in the receiving game also, which is going to be really tough for defenses to stop.
Yeah, you got to get the ball to your best guys, and he's one of your best guys.
Mendoza rolls out, hits his receiver. Oh, he takes a huge hit.
Wow, Vic Perez made a nice catch, turned up field to pick up about 12 yards. And wow, he got popped at the end of the run. Look at him. Look at the toughness by Victor Perez to get back up after that. He held onto the ball, and he gets back up after that hit. Wow, impressive coverage from the freshman. That's one of the hardest hits I've seen all season.
And he got hit stick on that play, but was able to get right back up. And Vic Perez, the freshman.
Wow, I'm surprised he can even remember where he is right now, much less line up at wide receiver. He got absolutely sent flying through the air, but he held on, and he's back out there.
And a nice play by Mendoza as he was looking downfield, taking his time rolling out, and he was able to find Perez. Mendoza trying to evade the pressure, and he is wrapped up for a sack. There's a flag.
I think we're going to get a face mask on Sommerset here. Looked like one of them may have taken the swipe at Mendoza's helmet as he ducked under the sack, but good job in the pocket by Mendoza. Just not enough. He can only hold off so many guys. Oh, wow. They're calling a chop block on Belen. Did not expect that call.
And that is a penalty you do not want, especially in the 2-minute drill. There's 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Trying to move the ball downfield rather quickly, and you really do not want to have a penalty called on you.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, a chop block will be 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. And that eliminates a lot of the chance here of putting together a nice 2-minute drive. A 1st and 25 would not be beneficial to that cause.
So Mendoza out on the field.
I'm very yeah, there we go.
And they move the ball back. So this is a situation Belen was not planning on being this late in the half. Getting backed up into your own territory like this.
Yeah, I'd expect either a short pass with large potential, such as a screen pass, or a deep pass here. 1st and 25, don't have a lot of time left. Really just got to work with what you got, and try and throw deep here. Get something going. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers.
Mendoza in shotgun formation.
Looks like some confusion here. The clock starts running.
So just over 1 minute left in the half. Mendoza drops back. Throws it down the middle of the field. It's caught another big hit.
That's a complete pass.
That's the kind of play you needed. That's your dependable receiver there, Carlos Iglesias. Runs the route on the middle. 1st and 25, 16-yard gain, and now this Belen offense is back in business with under 1 minute left.
Mendoza trying to move the ball downfield. In a rapid pace. Here comes Kamani Alexander, and he's able to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Really good play there. I love that play call from Coach Potts. They ran a misdirection concept. Kamani Alexander flooded out to the left side. Looked like it would be an option there and got the whole defense moving that way. Then turned back right where Mendoza handed it off. Had a lot of open space before he ran into 2 corners, and good job getting out of bounds, setting up a 3rd and 3 with the clock stopped.
So the Wolverines just short of the 50-yard line. Mendoza looking pretty good so far on this drive, coming off of a nice play call there from Coach Potts. So some miscommunication here from the offense. Mendoza trying to make sure he's running the right play. Hands it off. Kamani Alexander picks up the first down. And he is out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 39 or 35.4 seconds left.
Kamani Alexander trucked the defender. A little trash talk at the end of the play. That's probably some of the best run blocking we've seen all game. Just 1v1, each O-lineman held their ground against their man, opened a big hole for Kamani, who had a little extra flair at the end of that run with a big truck on the defender. 33 seconds left for the Belen offense.
Mendoza rolls out. And he heaves it downfield. It's incomplete.
Looked like he had Victor Perez on a long in-breaking route there from the right side of the field to the sideline. And Iglesias there on a deep route. I'm not really sure which one he was throwing to. Looked like Perez was open, but the throw landed right in between both of them. I mean, with Beteta out of the game today, you got Zumpano at kicker, so the kicking game is not very much trusted right there. You got the punter out there. Missed an extra point earlier. So it's pretty much touchdown or bust here for Belen with 27 seconds left.
Mendoza in shotgun formation. Hits the screen. That's Kamani Alexander. And he picks up a solid amount of yards there. Might have been just short of the first down.
Yeah, 9 yards there. I like the screen call there. Just get it going. Get Kamani Alexander a chance to work the ball in space. And they're going to spike it here. 4th and 1 at the 35-yard line.
With 9.4 seconds left. What would, if you were the coach right now in this situation, what would you do?
Okay, so I think either you really have two options here. You can't run the ball. I don't think Belen has any timeouts left. I would have called it there. So you can't really run the ball up the middle. You can't really run the ball at all due to the threat of losing clock. And with it being 3rd and 1, you either run a quick out to the sideline here, try and get out of bounds, quick out-breaking route, pick up the first down. It's actually 4th down here. So either you run a quick out-breaking route that picks up the first down and gets out of bounds, stopping the clock, or you throw it deep to the end zone just on one last shot play before the half.
If they were to throw it down to the end zone, watch out for Carlos Iglesias. Mendoza faces pressure, and he's going to hit his receiver. And he's out of bounds with just over 1 second left.
Really impressive awareness by Stefan Boredo. A lot of young receivers there. They would have turned up the field and been tackled towards the middle of the field, but he ran straight out of bounds. But it's not really going to matter as there's a holding penalty on Belen. Set up 4th and 11 with 1.8 seconds left.
Let's see what they're going to do. They get the ball moved back.
I think pretty much here your only option is either a lateral play of some sort or you just chuck it as far as you can deep downfield to one of your playmakers.
Yeah, I would expect a Hail Mary. A lateral could be rather risky, there's some miscommunication on one of the laterals that can result in a disastrous play.
I'm not sure if Mendoza can reach the end zone, though. A little surprised they're not putting Miatas in the game with the bigger arm.
Comes Mendoza. He's going to hand it off. Kamani Alexander cuts up. And
I like the call. Low risk, high reward. Either you get tackled for 5 yards, not really risk of a big play happening, or Kamani breaks one big.
So at the end of the first half, it's 14-13. The Wolverines have a lead. It could be a larger margin if there weren't as many penalties called on the defensive unit, especially the defensive front.
Yeah, that defensive front racked up 7 offsides penalties. That's abnormal. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that for one team and a half. But they did look better cleaning it up late. A couple false starts, too, on Sommerset, so maybe the defense has finally outsmarted them. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. If the shooting themselves in the foot and the dumb mistakes are cleaned up, Belen can make this one a blowout in the second half.
Yeah, so that's it for the first half. We will be back in about 15 minutes for the second half. Welcome back, Wolverine fans, to Belen Jesuit football. The Wolverines have a 14-13 lead going into the second half, and so far have looked phenomenal on both sides of the ball. Jack, what are your thoughts on the first half and what adjustments need to be made coming into the second?
Well, I think defensively they look good. Faltered a little bit on a couple of drives. You know the main adjustment they need to make. They jumped offside 7 times in the first half. That's a ridiculous number, really unlike anything I've ever seen. They need to cut down on the penalties. On offense, 2 touchdown drives to start, and then next 3 drives, nothing. One of them really was because of the end of the half, but I like where they're going. I like the scheme. Just some not great execution recently. And one play where you can't fault, just you got to give it up to Sommerset defense, stopping Hayden Puente on 4th and 1 from the 36. Offense, I wouldn't change much. Defense has looked good. Penalties have given Sommerset an opening. They need to stop with those.
So Sommerset will be receiving the ball to start the second half. Belen's defense, we will be able to see if they're able to make these adjustments regarding their discipline, especially with the front 7.
And Noah Zumbano's kick goes out of bounds. That's going to give Sommerset really good starting field position. Not a good way to start the second half of the special teams era from the kicker Noah Zumbano.
Yeah, and the penalties, so far, that's the first penalty and the first play to start the second half. So that's not a good look there.
Yeah, Belen is hoping to erase that trend of bad penalties in the second half. Not a good start, obviously. You know, Jose, I think this is a really, really big drive. I mean, if Sommerset comes out here, marches down the field, is able to score, take a 20-14 lead, that changes the complexity of the whole game and gives them all the momentum versus what a Belen stop would do here, getting the ball back in the offense's hand, giving them a chance to extend the lead.
And who do you expect to see most offensively between Alberto Mendoza and Andres Miares?
I think they're going to continue with the one-on-one rotation. Alberto Mendoza ended the first half. I expect Miares to start the second half, and they'll switch drives.
And on the jet sweep, a few yards picked up there for Sommerset, but Belen was able to stop them after about a 4-yard gain.
We've seen a lot of that slot wide receiver coming over in a jet sweep, that kind of action. And, you know, they've used it a couple times as a decoy, and because of the amount of times they've run it, it's done a really good job of taking out the linebackers and making them step in that direction, just looking for every little advantage they can get in a struggling run game. It won't surprise me to see them go back to that a couple of times in the second half.
Sommerset, off chops back, sends it downfield, and it's caught. A big first down for Sommerset.
You know, Zay Fuller had a really good first half, forced a fumble, multiple passes broken up, but looked like a really, really good release there by the wide receiver. No safety help, just pure press man. Zay Fuller just got beat there. 30-yard gain, and Sommerset's moving quick.
Isaiah Fuller gets burned on the play. He had a great first half, tackling and in coverage. He had a few batted down passes.
Wow, really good job by the defensive end, number 11, the freshman, just able to break off that block, disengage, and come back, making a lateral tackle towards the running back, who seemed to have a lot of space in the second level.
And we've heard Gavin Schmarsland's name a lot today, as he's been living in the backfield, which we said needed to happen.
He's a freshman. You can argue he's the best player on that Belen front 7.
He certainly has a bright future ahead of him.
Flag on the play here.
Against the Wolverines.
So penalty on the Wolverines. 5-yard penalty. Looks like it was offside.
Wow. Couple penalties out here start the second half. It's the one thing this Belen team cannot afford to keep up.
Croft throws it back. And that could be a fumble.
Oh my God. It looked like they ran the swing route out of the backfield. They did the fake jet sweep concept I was talking about, but then fooled them by going back to the jet sweep with a lateral throw. That throw was about 5 yards backwards, but I think the Belen players thought that it was incomplete and didn't pick up the ball. That's a big missed opportunity there.
Yeah, that could have been a fumble recovery for the Wolverines, and they would have gotten the ball. You know, forcing a turnover at the start of the second half would have been a great start. So huge missed opportunity there.
And right after that, on 3rd and 4, they jump off sides again.
There must be a lot of confusion there between that offensive line and defensive line. You know, this quarterback, the QB count, the snap count, he's really fooling this defensive front.
I've never seen 8 offsides in a game, and I mean, that's a good example today. Sommerset hasn't done much, but a missed fumble opportunity and 2 5-yard penalties gives them a first down.
They run the ball, it picks up a few yards inside the 10-yard line.
7-yard pass to tight end there. Really good job by Luis Consuegra to get up and make the hit, stop him from advancing any further. But here's that Sommerset offense driving down to the 10-yard line, looking to take the lead.
Wolverines need a stop here in the red zone. And they run the ball with J.K. Cooper. Might have picked up a yard there if lucky.
I think that's going to move the chains.
Yeah, and that is a first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Actually, yeah, and it's 1st and goal now for Sommerset at the 4-yard line.
This is where that Belen defense excels. It's time to step up and make a big play, but they jumped off sides again. The defensive coaches are irate. I guarantee you they had a long talk with their team about jumping off sides in the first half, at the end of the first half, because they did it so many times, but they look frustrated. They've jumped off sides 2 more times since Sommerset reached the red zone. Timeout Belen here. I imagine the defensive staff is about to have a meeting with these players about those offsides penalties.
Yeah, that's really not a good look. And just, like, zero discipline with this defensive line. It's 8, that's 8 offsides so far in the game, which is not a good amount. 9 offsides, actually. So that's something that needed to be changed in the half.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, it looks like they haven't really changed much there.
Don Chaney Sr. is a disciplined guy. He's a disciplined kind of coach. I know he hates to see that out of his teams. He's even a disciplinarian at Belen. That's the kind of guy he's a disciplined kind of guy, and he does not like to see that kind of undisciplined and aggressive play from this team, and they're shooting themselves in the foot.
So the Wolverines looking to get a goal line stop here. So on the 2-yard line is Sommerset Academy.
If there was ever a time for this front 7 to step up, it's right now.
Gonna run the ball up the middle. And a touchdown for Sommerset.
Looked like good initial standoff by that Belen defensive line. Just able to bounce off the offensive tackle in an open crease to score a touchdown. And for the first time all game, I mean, this Belen team jumped out to a 14-0 lead. They've put up the next 20 points. This next offensive drive is huge.
Sommerset Academy takes the lead 19-14. An extra point, if they're able to make it, would result in a 20-14 lead.
I mean, wow. This offensive drive, you could argue, is the biggest of the game. Sommerset has all the momentum right now. And once again, it's time to see, will the freshmen back down or will they stand up to the pressure and fight back?
And the kick is good. So it's a 20-14 lead for Sommerset Academy.
So we talked about it. The one key to the second half, limit the penalties. Slow that down, don't hurt yourself. But first the kicker comes out, Zumpano kicks it out of bounds, gives them a head start on field position. And then you saw them jump off sides for the 8th and 9th time in the game, including on a 3rd and 3.
Here comes Belen's offense. So there's 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. So this is a crucial drive for Belen's offense. As we could possibly see either Andres Miares or Alberto Mendoza come out onto the field. We saw Mendoza come out last drive 10.5 off. So there's a possibility we'll be seeing Miares here.
You know, this drive could be crucial for Belen in multiple ways, not just for this game, but for the future of the season. If you're the quarterback and you come out, whoever they send out, if you're down 20-14 and lead a big touchdown drive in the heat of the moment when all the pressure and momentum are against you, it really separates you in a big way and shows the coaching staff that they can count on you in the most pressure and hard situations. So the freshman quarterbacks are going to get a chance to impress here.
Here's the kick. And it's a line drive kick as it goes out of bounds, I believe. So that'll be a penalty on Sommerset, as we saw that with the kick with Belen by Noah Zumpano. It went out of bounds, so now we'll see it at Sommerset Academy.
Yeah, an eye for an eye. Both kicks went out of bounds. Both offenses will start at the 35-yard line. Really, really smart play by Luis Consuegra there. Saw that the ball was angling towards the sidelines and took the risk of it stopping. He almost jumped in front of that ball and grabbed it, which could have potentially led to them getting the ball, Belen getting the ball about the 8-yard line, but had enough discipline to let that ball bounce out of bounds and get Belen good starting field position as Andres Miades and the offense come out at the 35-yard line.
So here come the Wolverines. They're going to run the ball. Oh, and a big hit in the backfield. And this Sommerset defense is livid.
Wow. That is a killer right there. You cannot have that. Andres Miades, just a simple stretch handoff to Hayden Puente, and he gets clocked. They put his shoulder right where he was holding the ball, and you really don't expect that from your senior leader on the offense, team captain right there. Wow, that was the last thing Belen could afford. All the momentum already swings Sommerset's way. They scored the last 20 points, and now they'll get the ball back inside the Belen 30-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, and this Belen, now the offense is playing undisciplined football, which is just a complete mess right now. Belen needs a stop. They cannot let Sommerset go up by 2 possessions, as that'll force them to play catch-up football, which, you, as a coach, you really don't want for your team. Croft hits his receiver on the screen. He's able to pick up a solid amount of yards there. Might have picked up the first down.
Looked like they ran a fly and a back screen there on the right side. It looked like they were originally running 2 go routes, but then one of them curled back towards the line of scrimmage. Seemed to fool the corners, and there was a miscommunication passing off the receiver, giving him an open little check down and a 10-yard first down.
Croft, the quarterback in shotgun formation, or under the center. Hands it off to Jakey Cooper, breaks free, and he is down.
Wow, that's one of the biggest plays of the game I've seen from Luis Consuegra. Defensive line does a great job. The offensive line does a great job on the D-line. Opens a lot of space at the second level. And that was a touchdown waiting to happen. But Luis Consuegra hit him hard, stopped him in his tracks, made a great tackle to make sure that they wouldn't score there.
Consuegra's had a few touchdown-saving tackles so far today. And a nice stop there by the Wolverines defense as they're able to prevent a touchdown on that play.
That's what we expect from that Belen defense right there. You run it up the middle, there's no space, no room, you're not getting anything. They're going to plug those gaps and make sure the running back gets stopped. And if they keep that up, they have the potential to get a stop here on this goal line drive. Still got an injury here for Sommerset.
A stop here has the potential for a huge momentum swing for this Belen team.
Yeah, and so many times you see an offense feed off their defense. You know, a big goal line stop suddenly changes all the momentum and leads to a touchdown drive. I mean, the defense needs to play off the offense, and the offense needs to play off the defense. The energy level needs to be good on both sides, and that's one of many reasons a stop would be so huge here.
It would be a crazy goal line stop for this Wolverines defense, and Don Shaney would much appreciate that, overcoming the adversity of this. This offense has looked really good for Sommerset. Cooper, another stop again for this Wolverines defense.
This is probably the biggest third down of the game for this Belen defense. All season, they've done a great job getting off on third down, and they've done a good job today on third down, besides a couple offsides, something we've seen a lot, that gave up some short third downs. I mean, and if they don't get it here, I expect them to go for it. So really, this is a 2-down thing. You have third and fourth down to work with. As an offensive play caller, Jose, what would you be thinking?
I just keep running the ball, especially with a talented running back with Jakey Cooper has had a lot of success on the ground. So I just pound it. And obviously, if he loses yardage possibly on this third down, I'd probably just do like sort of a play action and hit a receiver on a flat route.
I agree with that call, Jose, because really they've been power running it up this Belen defense to middle. Look, this is a situation where they're at the 2-yard line. The Belen defense can do everything right and have the running back just still churn forward and score a touchdown. So I think you continue with the power run. As we got an injured Belen player on the field. Don't like to see that. Can't tell who that is from here.
So the ref's discussing. The player is on a knee.
Not sure who that is. Has not stood up yet. Does not look good. It looks like the full medical staff is out there.
And it looks like it's Ian Johnson down on the field again. He got hurt earlier in the game. No, he seems to be down again.
Wow, I mean, he got hurt last game, came back.
And I take back my statement. That might be Gavin Marcelin, the freshman.
Oh, no.
One of the more talented players on this defense.
Wow, that is Gavin Marcelin. You could argue he's the best player on this defense. Definitely the leader of that front seven as a freshman. I mean, such an athletically gifted guy. Big guy. Could probably end up a D1 player. If there's one guy on the defense that Belen really can't afford to lose, it's probably him. You do not like to see that at all.
Yeah, he's been really effective in disrupting the backfield for Sommerset Academy. So
Let's hear it for your defense.
that's not good for this Wolverines defense. So here it is. The Wolverines are going to get a huge goal line stop. And they're going to run the ball. And it looks like
there it is.
A touchdown. It looked like he had gotten stopped, but he was able to find his way into the end zone. So now a 2-possession lead for Sommerset Academy.
We've seen it all game. Speedy wide receiver takes a jet sweep pass. There good play by the offense, good play by the defense. Jet sweep man just outraced the Belen defender at the corner of the end zone. Just dove in that pylon before the Belen defense was able to get to him. Wow, this game has taken a major turn from up 14-0 to down 26-14 with an extra point pending.
So possibly 27 straight unanswered points for Sommerset Academy. Really not a good look for this Belen defense or offense, as they haven't really been able to get it going on either side of the ball since the first quarter. And the kick is good. It's 27-14, a 13-point lead for Sommerset Academy.
Wow.
So now a big margin, a large margin now between the score of Sommerset and Belen.
Wow.
So Belen's offense, they need to score in this drive. Not a field goal, they need a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think they've really scored since about the first quarter, which is a big, big problem. I mean, consistent drives have been an issue. The offense got up to a really, really good start, but has since cooled off. We've still seen some open receivers. It's just been a couple bad breaks, like that fumble by Hayden Puente on the last drive that's really cost this Belen defense. And if there's any drive that's a must score, it's this one. Down 27-14, all the momentum against you. I know Miatis got the last series, but considering it was one play and then Hayden Puente fumbled, I expect to see him sent back out there, and let's see what he can do.
A short kick. And here it is, possibility for a nice return. And there he goes down the sideline. And he cuts back in, he's still up, and he's finally taken down deep in Sommerset territory.
You know, we talked about special teams plays and big plays like that. Those are swing plays that can affect the game. Now, this Belen offense, which so desperately needs a score, they don't have to go 90 yards. Luis Consuegra takes that one 50 yards down the sideline. Short field. That is a big play from one of the top players we've seen from Belen tonight.
Louis Consuegra has been fantastic on the defensive side of the ball with a few touchdown-saving tackles, and now with a huge return that could result in a crucial scoring drive for Belen.
Wow, almost fumbled the ball, broke multiple tackles, but just took it all the way down the sideline. That almost was a touchdown. Louis Consuegra had such a big impact on this game, and I mean, this offense, this is the time. Now, they have to capitalize. They're sending Alberto Mendoza out there, even though Miatis didn't really get much of a chance on last series. It's a short field. This is your chance. You got to take it.
Yeah, and expect to see the receivers come into effect here. Players such as Vic Perez, Nico Vieto, and especially Carlos Iglesias. You need to keep an eye on those threats.
Yeah, Stefan Borrero too, and I agree because today the pass game has had a lot more success than the run game. There's definitely been some struggles in the run blocking department, so I expect some deep passes, some 5-wide concepts, seam concepts, curl concepts, all sorts of things like that. And let's see if Coach Potts can out-scheme this defense. Wow, that was a big return.
Yeah, it was a big return. Could result in a Wolverines touchdown. Don't want to jinx anything for this Wolverines offense.
Not only is it good field position, it's good momentum. Everything had been going against the Wolverines, and it's just something back in their favor that gives this team an energy boost almost. Long huddle here on the timeout. Let's see what Coach Potts has schemed here. Ready to go. Probably have a script going for the next couple plays. See what they got.
Alberto Mendoza being sent out. It's going to lead the Wolverines offense here on this drive with 7 minutes, 14 seconds left in the third quarter. Still a lot of time left, obviously. Mendoza hands it off. Kamani Alexander, he's going to break free, and he's going to pick up a first down, and he is out of bounds. A huge play for Belen Jesuit.
You know, that's the same misdirection concept we saw earlier. This time it looked like Sommerset almost picked up on it, but a great backside block by the right tackle. It looks like almost an over pursuit by the defensive end there, and he lost contained. Kamani Alexander reads the offensive line, hits that hole, and by then it's just his natural talent. His speed, bowls over defender at the end. Huge play.
Mendoza rolls out. We've seen this play before. He's patient, and he throws it away. It's incomplete.
Smart play by Mendoza. Some of the same concepts we saw earlier. The rollout there, fake handoff to Kamani Alexander, kind of baited the defense into thinking he was a threat, and that's a smart quarterback play by Mendoza. Don't try to force anything. Nothing's open downfield. Get rid of the ball. Cut your losses.
So the Wolverines marching down the field on this drive. Mendoza could possibly looking to throw it into the end zone soon. (27-14). They're going to run the ball here.
That's third-string running back Marky Ruiz with a 6-yard carry.
The junior, Marky Ruiz, we've seen him get involved, getting some reps, late in the game against Gulliver and in the previous game against Archbishop McCarthy.
More of a smaller, kind of hard-working, scrappy back. Fights for every yard he can get. I saw him break it to the edge right there. Almost broke a tackle and took it for more. Now, you can argue it's the biggest third down of the game for Belen. Really, I don't expect to see him kick for sure on fourth down. You got 2 downs here to pick up 4 yards.
So Alberto Mendoza alone in the backfield. Marky Ruiz now lines up behind him.
I'll motion him back out.
Mendoza drops back. He's going to throw it to the end zone, and he overthrows his target. And there's a flag, and that's going to be a penalty on the defense.
Yeah, there's a reason that ball was so overthrown. Carlos Iglesias had his man, but he grabbed him by the shoulder, didn't allow him to get deep downfield. That's an easy call. I mean, they could not miss that one. He was getting grabbed by the pads. Once again, the presence of Carlos Iglesias, the threat of that vertical passing game with the improved quarterbacks, improved system. Really, really nice job by Mendoza in the offense there.
A clear penalty.
That's a first down for Belen.
Yes, that'll move the chains. So Belen has a huge opportunity here to score a touchdown for the first time since the first quarter.
First and goal at the 9-yard line. You're not kicking a field goal here. You got 4 plays to get 9 yards, and the offense needs to capitalize here.
Timeout on the field. Water break.
So a timeout, it's a water break for both teams.
Wow.
So far it's been a great drive, and it started off with that crucial kick return by Luis Consuegra.
I mean, offense just gets so much easier when you have a short field. It's just simply you have to. It's easier. You don't have to deal with the first 50 yards. You just got to deal with the last 50. And that's what Luis Consuegra set up for them. Instead of a long, methodical drive, they're able to get quick hitters. That big run by Kamani Alexander. Just get down to that 9-yard line. Sets up first and goal. And I'm really curious to see what Coach Potts runs out of timeout here.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see what he can do. Last play, we saw him air out the ball to Carlos Iglesias, who's their main target when it comes to red zone offense. We see him a lot in the end zone. You know, they run sort of fade routes, throw up 50-50 balls to him. And he's a player to look out for here on this play.
Really risky play call by Coach Potts on third down. An aggressive mentality that I love, especially with this offense. And it worked. First and goal at the 9.
And that's one of the things that Coach Shannon was raving about Coach Potts, his aggressive play calling. Mendoza is going to run the ball at the middle. And a solid pickup there inside the 10-yard line.
Once again, you're not kicking here. You got 4 plays to get 9 yards, so 4 yards is a good start. You got to pick up like 2 yards per play. Now it's down to 3 plays to get 5 yards. Nice run by Kamani up the middle, followed his blocks, did everything the play was supposed to do, hit the hole very nicely. He's really good at that. Great vision at the line of scrimmage. And now, let's just see. They got to punch it in. You really got no options here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them also give Hayden Puente a few carries here. Kamani Alexander, and he is just short of the end zone, down at the 1-yard line.
Love the play call. That defense was probably expecting an inside run up the middle again, but just a pitch to the left side. And wow, Kamani built up so much forward momentum that he was just tripped up by a Sommerset defender. It looked like he got him at the ankle and falls to the 1-yard line. I think this is going to be a power run. The QB sneak wouldn't surprise me here.
A huge play here. Wouldn't really be expecting a QB sneak, especially with a young quarterback and a smaller quarterback in Alberto Mendoza. They're going to run up the middle. And that's a Wolverines touchdown. The Wolverines cut the lead to 1 possession.
Kamani Alexander, the young Wolverines back, the star of the show. On that possession, runs of 25, and there. He get the ball. They have 9 yards to get. They got 4 plays, and they give it to Kamani Alexander 3 times, and he does his job. He does what the best players on the team should do. He makes plays, and he scores the ball.
Kamani Alexander continues to exceed everybody's expectations.
Wow.
So it's 27-20. An extra point should make it 27-21 if they make it. And the kick is blocked. So that's another missed kick. It remains 27-20.
That's another blocked kick for Sumpano. It's 27-20 with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left in the third quarter. I mean, you know what? This is an example of how special teams can change the game. Belen looked dead. They'd given up 27 straight points. They looked like blood in the. It looked like Sommerset was sharks and Belen was blood in the water. But then Luis Consuegra energized the whole team. 50-yard kickoff return gave the offense a short field to work with, and instead of stringing out these long drives where one setback can set you back, they were able to make quick, concise plays. And really, they just didn't need that much from where they started. Kamani Alexander made plays, and now it's 27-20.
And let's not forget that holding call that went against Sommerset. That was a huge penalty there that resulted in a Wolverines touchdown.
Yeah,
it was a third down on that play.
That shows the route running of Carlos Iglesias. He had the corner beat, so he had to hold him, setting up that big first down.
Here's the kick. And, a nice tackle there. Might have saved a huge return
You
Wow,
know,
he's down at about the 34-yard line.
sophomore Lucas Amaya just threw him to the ground. Man, he didn't. I mean, that's just a pure strength play.
Yeah, he
Lucas
did,
Amaya is on the wrestling team. Is actually a varsity wrestler, and you could see it in that play.
yeah, he didn't hesitate to go in and bring him down. Could have saved what could have been a huge return. Could have possibly gotten into Wolverines territory.
You know what'll be an interesting dynamic to manage here late in the game? It's a 7-point game, and hopefully the Belen defense gets the offensive ball back. Now you're down 7. Zumbano's 0 for 2 on extra points. Do you trust your kicker and to nail the third one, or do you go for 2 and try to take the lead?
Honestly, I would go for 2, especially with your options that you have at running back. You have Kamani Alexander, who's been doing a really good job and pretty much gains yardage every play. And then you also have Hayden Puente, and the play was nearly intercepted on that screenplay. That could have been disastrous.
That was really good play design. Looked like they faked a wide receiver out to the right side, had the whole team fooled, but then a throwback screen to the running back. But number 7, the freshman Jansen Wallace was in position to make a play, and 2 steps farther up, that's an interception, maybe even a pick 6. Also, probably should have been caught by the running back.
So the Wolverines have a lot of momentum on their side defensively and offensively right now, and they need to take advantage of that.
Looks like we got an injured Sommerset player down on the field. I think that's an offensive lineman. Not sure who. Don't like to see that, whether it's for your own team or the other team. Injuries are never good, especially for high school kids. Hate to see that. Speaking of injuries, on the last series, Belen star defensive end Gavin Marsland came out with an injury, but he was back on the field for that last play, and he's back in the huddle now, looking good to go.
Yeah, and that just resembles the strength that this team has and the motivation that they have.
Yeah, these guys have no quit in them. He got hurt and it looked pretty painful, but he's not going to let him hold this out. Let that hold him out of this football game.
So it's 1st and 10 for Sommerset Academy. The Wolverines looking to get a stop. Crucial drive here with 4 minutes left. With over 4 minutes left. Croft drops back. He's going to send it downfield. He's got a receiver wide open, and it's incomplete. The receiver dropped a wide open catch.
Wow, Nick Perez Abreu got beat there. He's making some hand signals to the safety, Luis Consuegra. Looked like there might have been confusion on the coverage there. Unclear with his man or zone, but wow, that was a beautiful throw right in the hands of the receiver, but dropped. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, and Croft noticed a miscommunication between Nick Perez Abreu, the cornerback, and the safety, Luis Consuegra, and he decided to send it downfield. Unfortunately, it resulted in a dropped catch. A lot of noise coming from the crowd. They've been really involved in the game today.
3rd and 9. This is one of the biggest plays of the game.
Croft in shotgun formation. The Wolverines are going to get a huge stop. And it looks like there's a timeout called on Belen, by Belen. So this is a crucial 3rd down that could either result in sort of a backstabbing 1st down. You know, that could be, a tough look for the defense and can allow them to lose confidence, or they get a 3rd down stop and they just build up more momentum. And the offense could start off with actually decent field position.
Let me tell you something. There's been a lot of plays in this game where we said this is the biggest play of the game. Well, this is the new biggest play of the game. It's 3rd and 10 from their own 35-yard line. I mean, a 1st down gives them the ball probably around midfield, driving with a good opportunity to score. But a stop here, 3 and out, gets Belen the ball back with all the momentum in the world. And just, this is the biggest play of the game.
And if I was Belen on this play, I'd put as much pressure. I'd just sell out on the run game right now, because this offense really struggles to pass the ball with Sommerset Academy, and the receivers have not been doing a good job at catching the ball successfully.
I think I'm sending a large pass blitz. Every quarterback, especially high school quarterbacks, tend to really struggle to throw under pressure. And if the throw's not accurate, it doesn't matter how much separation the receiver has.
And this front 7 is also very good at putting pressure on the quarterback, and we've seen them do a lot of that today. Croft facing a lot of pressure on this play. Here we go. Huge play here. Croft drops back. He rolls out. He's going to send it. And it's caught by his receiver, who's able to pick up a first down. Wow. And the receiver's showing off his speed. My goodness, and that is not good for the defense.
They sent the blitz, and they got a lot of pressure. Two guys running free in the backfield. Just couldn't get the quarterback. And he throws a little comeback route 7 yards short of the sticks, but 3 Belen players were run by the speedy slot receiver. That's a backbreaker right there.
Yeah, not a good look for the defense. Looking to rebound off of that play to try to get a stop here. They cannot give up another touchdown. They cannot put the offense in tough situations as they were in that last drive. They're going to run the ball. Jakey Cooper picks up a few yards. Good defense there by the Wolverines.
At the 49-yard line.
Wow.
So just at about midfield is Sommerset. This will be really interesting to see what they got to come out here with. Try to extend their lead.
3, 2nd and 7.
2nd and 7. They're going to run the ball up the middle.
Nice.
Good defense there. They picked up probably about 2 to 3 yards.
You know, the running up the middle has been very hit and miss. It's not been a lot of 4 or 5 yard gains. It seems either it's a 20-yard gain breaking into the secondary, or that Belen defense stuffs it up front, giving only 2 yards.
3rd and 3.
Now it's 3rd and about 4 yards. Belen D has to get off the field here. There's no sugarcoating it.
3rd and 3, maybe 3rd and 4. I would say about 3rd and 4. Huge 3rd down here. This crowd really getting into it today. They're going to run the ball. And it's a first down, a big first down there again. The Wolverines
You know,
are not able to come up with a stop.
I said it a play ago, running up the middle has been very hit or miss. It seems like it's all or nothing. And there they got all. Ran it up the middle, cut it back to outside. 15-yard gain on 3rd and 3. Another 3rd down conversion for this Sommerset offense that this Belen defense really cannot afford.
Yeah, they need to get a stop here. Or if anything, force them to kick a field goal. They cannot go down by 14 points again. Sommerset driving the ball down the field successfully. Croft sends it downfield. And it's incomplete.
Isaiah Fuller looked like he was in pretty good coverage there, but a superhuman attempt by the receiver to make that catch. I mean, that's a big guy, and he went full extension on the diving opportunity. Almost caught it. That ball was right in his hands. Looked like he may have had a shot at it for a second. Good throw by the quarterback to get that sort of separation, leading the receiver deep downfield.
So it's 2nd and 10. The receiver seemed to get a little spacing there off of Isaiah Fuller, but another incomplete pass.
That sets him behind the chains for this 2nd and 10. Good job to not allow any yards on first down.
And they're going to run the ball.
Okay. For the 3rd straight time, I'm going to call this 3rd down the biggest play of the game. They got to get off the field here. Every 3rd down just gets more and more important as they get closer to the end zone. Better field goal range. You got to get a stop here. You can't give it up like you did the last 2.
Must stop. You know, if I were Belen,
Belen jumped off sides.
yeah, and that'll move the sticks. And just another offsides penalty, and this time it's when it actually matters, you know. Late in the 3rd quarter like this is not when you want to be committing these penalties.
Have you ever seen a team jump off sides 10 times in a game?
First down on the Belen 27-yard line.
Nope, I have not. But Belen needs to change that. And good defense there.
Beautiful defense by the defensive end to force that play to the outside where the corners and safeties were ready to go. Nice stop there. Good run contained by this Belen defense. That's what you like to see and are expected to see from this kind of unit. Great defensive unit Belen has. Just got to step it up here.
Yeah, the defense does a beautiful job, in the first and second downs. It's just when it comes to third downs, they really struggle stopping the run. Croft drops back, and he overthrows his receiver again.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was much there anyways. Louis Contuegra was coming over for a hit. Zay Fuller looked like in good coverage just underneath the receiver. Being honest with you, an accurate throw there might get picked off by Zay Fuller. He had perfect positioning on that play. Good defense.
It seems that every time Croft throws the ball, he throws it to that same part of the field. He hasn't really thrown it to the left side. He always throws it to the right side, and it always results in an overthrown pass.
Yeah, seems like he's targeting Zay Fuller a bit deep down that sideline. Not sure why. He's been in pretty good coverage all game.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job.
Big 3rd down and 7.
Croft drops back, and he hits his receiver.
Pass is complete. He's going to be short of the first down.
And he's short of the first down. It looked like he might have picked it up from the view that we have here, but he is marched just short of it.
That's a bad play for the receiver. On 3rd and 7, you cannot run your route short of the sticks. That's like route running 101. And now big 4th and 1 here.
So, and that's the end of the third quarter. It's 27-20.
Nope.
Oh, it's not the end of the third. There's a flag on the play.
Belen, freshman defensive end, Gavin Marcelin, jumped off sides. Now they're discussing whether it came before or after the end of the quarter.
They called the penalty just as time expired. So let's see what they decide here.
That'll give a first down on 4th and 2 for this. 2nd straight first down given up via offsides. That's the 11th offsides penalty of the game for Belen today. This crowd is shell-shocked.
And this defensive line, they're going to have a tough time throughout practice this week. I'm pretty sure Coach Shaney is going to make it tougher for them, especially after this performance.
Bad snap. Nice job by the quarterback to pick it off the ground and get it to the slot wide receiver on the jet sweep. Nice first down gain, 8 yards. Good offense by Sommerset.
So that's the end of the third quarter. It's 27-20. We got ourselves a ball game on our hands. However, Sommerset Academy is driving the ball and marching the ball downfield on the Wolverines, and they are very close to the end zone.
I mean, the offsides penalties.
Yeah, the offsides penalties have cost a lot for this defense. You have 2 offsides penalties when it was 3rd down, a crucial 3rd down, which if they got on the stop, it would have been huge. And then on a 4th and 2, which is literally the last play that you want to, commit a penalty on. So
I've counted 11 total offsides and 5 times on 5 offsides that have given Sommerset a first down on 3rd or 4th down, including 2 on this crucial drive here, with Belen finally getting some momentum towards the end of the 3rd quarter. And on 4th and 2 is really just a backbreaker. That's the kind of mistake that you cannot make. I mean, because a stop there, you get the ball back. Sommerset doesn't even get a field goal if you get the stop there. All the momentum swings back in your direction, but not even going to get a chance because of the offsides.
yeah, not good for the Wolverines with these penalties. I thought they were going to get that sort of down pat in the second half in the locker room, but turns out they really haven't. And it could cost them the game potentially.
Yeah, it's time to see. I expect this defense to step up here. This is a really good defense, and we've seen them do it all season. We've seen them do it last season, the season before. Belen's traditionally been a really, really good defensive team. They produce sound defensive players. And if there's any time for the defense to step up, it's now. Backed up on their own goal line. Down 7. All the momentum heading in Sommerset's direction. It's time to lock in. It's time to lock in and stop this Sommerset offense.
Time to bring out their offense. It'll be 2nd and goal.
So a huge defensive drive here for the Wolverines. A lot of penalties. This is like the 4th straight drive that Sommerset has built on their yardage from penalties.
Yeah, Belen has outplayed Sommerset today. The penalties have what's been the problem.
This could be a huge stop for Belen.
off, and he's going to be tackled
And
short of the goal
Cooper
line.
is tackled inside the 5-yard line.
That's a first down for Sommerset. First and goal from the 3-yard line. I mean, we've seen this Belen defense stop the run all game and all season. I think realistically, Sommerset is just going to try and pound it down their throats here. See if this defensive line steps up.
I mean, why not do that? I mean, it's been working all game in short yardage situations, so might as well just do it again.
Yeah, I don't
This
expect
defense
them
has
stop
to
now.
be expecting it. And Cooper
Handoff.
looks like he might have been stuffed.
Yeah,
I don't think he got in there.
Looks like they were expecting it. Okay.
Good defensive play there.
That's only first down, though. 1 stop, 3 to go. If anyone can do this, it's this Belen front 7. We've seen them excel all season. They may be the best unit on the team. You just got to stop them 3 more times. That'll completely change the complexity of this game.
We have a timeout on the field.
So a timeout is called. There's an injured player.
It's like a Sommerset player down on the field. Don't like to
Looks
see
like
that.
it's number 16.
Don't like to see a Sommerset player down. Hopefully he's able to get back up and walk it off best he can. Hopefully it's not serious.
Yeah, you never want to see this, especially this late in the game. You know, a crucial drive, which could result in a touchdown. So
Yeah, all the Belen players on their knees, very respectful. Good job. Hate to see anyone get hurt playing this game they love. Okay, looks like he's walking off under his own power, has a major limp, but looks like he's able to get off the field. That's good to see.
Great to see him open off on his own power. Lions bring out
the Wolverines, they need to get a stop here. 3 more stops
Wolverine 1-yard line.
is all they need.
3 more stops would change the game significantly. Heavy noise from this Belen home crowd. They're really getting into it here, trying to energize this defense, keep this Sommerset team out of the end zone.
And oh, they might have lost the ball, and it looks like Sommerset jumped back on it. That could have been huge for this Wolverines defense.
Sommerset made a bold decision, went Wildcat, sending their running back out of the shotgun. You know, he doesn't have a lot of experience taking snaps, obviously. Looked like a good snap by the center, but he tried to run before he really caught the ball and dropped it at the 5-yard line. It's huge that Belen didn't get the ball, but it's still a 4-yard loss, setting up 3rd and goal from the 5.
It's a very sloppy play, and they're going to run the Wildcat again. And it looks like this time it succeeds. A touchdown for Sommerset Academy. It is now 33-20. Belen is back down by 2 possessions.
For a second there, it looked like they might have stopped him up the middle, but he did. He just kept his legs turning. Good play by the running back to carry the defense into the end zone. That's what I was talking about earlier. When you're at the inside the 5-yard line, sometimes the defense can do everything right, and the running back just keeps his leg going, and they still end up scoring. But it's 33-20 now. That's a killer for this Belen defense, especially after a fumble almost got him the ball back.
So the Wolverines down by 13.
Game's definitely not out of hand yet. I'd love to see the offense come back from this, put a quick, concise drive together, and get in the end zone. Wouldn't surprise me if they send Alberto Mendoza back out there for the 2nd series in a row.
And the kick is good. It's 34-20, a 14-point lead now. And the Wolverines need to score on this drive, led by either Andres Miares or Alberto Mendoza. Either one is great. They just need to score a touchdown. No field goal. They cannot settle for a punt. They need a touchdown. And this offense is perfectly capable of doing it. We saw them do it last drive. So let's see if they can do it again. There's 10 minutes and 27 seconds left in this game. That's plenty of enough time to potentially tie this ball game up.
Looks like they have
Luis Consuegra back to return it.
Luis Consuegra had a big kick return last kickoff that helped swing the momentum of this game. Took it 50 yards down the sideline, giving the Belen offense a short field to work with. Would love to see another big special teams change the game here on the Belen side.
Must score drive for Belen Jesuit. Here's the kick.
It's like that's third string running back Marky Ruiz taking the kickoff return.
Marky Ruiz, a speedy running back. He's gonna break free and is down at just short of the 35-yard
You know,
line.
that's not as big a play as a Luis Consuegra return last time, but you know, it's still a super effective special teams play. These kind of games, tight games, are won through the little plays. And right there, he takes it, busts a seam, almost breaks a couple tackles, and gets out to about the 35-yard line, setting up his Belen offense in good position.
So here's Belen's offense.
No, it's Mendoza back out there at quarterback for the second series in a row. Really impressive series last time. It doesn't surprise you sending him back out.
They're gonna run the ball, and it's fumbled. And it's picked up. And it's a touchdown. My goodness.
That could not have gone any worse. Wow.
So it is now a huge 20-point lead for Sommerset. And that is just a demoralizing play there for the Wolverines offense and just team overall.
I mean, they gave their star player the ball. It's the right move. He's a great player. Had punched it in for a touchdown last drive. Looked really good. Just they ran that same misdirection concept that picked him up 20 and 10 yards the first two times. Defender got there into the backfield quick. Never looked like he really had a hold on the ball. He just lost it, and good job by the Sommerset defense. You're typically taught to jump on a fumble because football's not round, very unpredictable bounces, hard to pick up. But he was able to scoop it and take it to the end zone. That's a killer.
It seemed like just the whole defense of Sommerset was in the backfield there. So there was really nothing Kamani Alexander was able to do, but the one thing he shouldn't have done was fumble the ball.
Yeah. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the on Sommerset will push this kick back 15 yards, make it a little more difficult, 35-yard kick. Belen now down 20 with 10 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Going to take a nice comeback here to get this one back.
It's definitely doable. It's just how will they be able to complete the comeback if they're able to start one?
It's difficult.
This is a rather long extra point here of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And it's no good. So it remains a 20-point game. So that's maybe something Belen can take advantage of. So it's a 3-possession game now. So Belen's offense is going to have to be rather ran in a rapid pace.
You know, Kamani Alexander was sitting on the bench with his head down, and I saw a quarterback, Alberto Mendoza, freshman quarterback, come over and cheer him up, get him looking right again on the sideline. I mean, that's a big move. I mean, as a starting quarterback, you have to be a leader of the offense, and to be able to go and do that, have the maturity to do that as a true freshman, really impressive from Mendoza there. But, I mean, right here, it's difficult. It's really difficult to come back from this kind of deficit with 10 minutes left, but it can be done is the key.
Yeah, Mendoza's showing off leadership qualities on the sideline.
It's not impossible. It can be done. We've seen crazy things before.
There's still 10 minutes and 3 seconds left. So that's enough time. It's just going to be interesting to see how Belen will be able to execute offensively and defensively. Here's the kick.
Luis Consuega on the kickoff return.
And he breaks the tackle, and he's finally taken down deep in his own territory at the 15-yard line.
Okay, so here comes the offense. Time to show what the quarterbacks are made of. Backs against the wall. Own 15-yard line. Down 20, 10 minutes left. Got 85 yards to go.
Looks like Miatis is out on the field now.
Yeah, you know, with the big arm, they got to move down the field quick. Expect a bunch of deep shots, and that's what Miatis is best at. Has that huge arm and the ability to just throw pinpoint passes deep down the field, which you don't see from a lot of other quarterbacks, especially freshmen.
Miatis has a great arm, and let's see if he's going to be able to use it this drive. Expect more deep passes. They're going to throw the ball this time downfield, and it's caught.
Really well-run rub play. Looked like an in route from the outside receiver. Looked an out route from the inside receiver. That's Nico Vieto, the sophomore, with about a 30-yard catch. Nice job freeing himself with the pick down the sideline. Well-run route, and good job getting yards after the catch. Great play by sophomore Nicholas Vieto.
Nico Vieto is a very explosive receiver, sort of like a secret weapon that Belen uses. You know, he's not one of the primary targets, but when Belen needs to get, you know, a spark in the offense, they can always rely on him.
For sure, super explosive guy. We saw it with that 45-yard touchdown in the first game, and another big 35-yard catch here. I mean, really here, it's time to start throwing the ball down the field. Time for, if Coach Potts has got to unleash his best right now. Deep shots, vertical concepts, seam concepts. Get those receivers open and get Miatis in a position to make the plays.
See if the Wolverines can continue to drive the ball downfield. We're going to expect to see a lot more passing, especially with more of a passing quarterback in Miatis. Throws the ball downfield more often.
I agree. I'd also expect to see a little less run game here with the clock running so low. It is 1st and 10 from the 45.
Here's Miatis. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw this ball downfield. It's incomplete.
That'll be an incomplete pass.
Looked like Stefan Borrero made a great effort to try and come back and get to the ball, but just wasn't able to get there, as that throw was in between him and freshman wide receiver Vic Perez. Looked like he may have had a step on him, just Miatis' throw fell a little short. Tough throw there for the young quarterback.
So he was trying to target Vic Perez on that play. Going downfield. Put a lot of air under that ball, showing off his arm. And he's going to send it again. And it's overthrown. An incomplete pass again.
Looked like it was almost caught just past the outstretched arms of the receiver, which had a step. I mean, that's a tight window throw from Miatis, fitting it in between the corner and the safety. Well thrown ball, just slightly out of the receiver's reach. Bringing up a huge, huge 3rd and long.
They need to convert on this 3rd down. Yeah, this drops back. He's going to send this one downfield again. It's overthrown.
Looks like a similar concept of 1st and 2nd down plays. Another deep shot taken towards that outside with a wheel route. Kamari Alexander, one of the top playmakers on the team.
That'll bring up a 4th down and 10.
And now it's 4th down and 10, and you got to send the offense back out here. You have no choice. Down 20 with under 10 minutes left. Time to take some risks.
Marcos Ruiz coming in at running back. He's more of an explosive player also. So, you know, they don't need to launch the ball downfield again. Giannis drops back, and they're going to do just that. And it's a jump ball, and it's intercepted.
Yeah, it looks like
throws his first interception of his career.
he just kind of threw the ball up in the air, just trying to give his receiver Carlos Iglesias a chance to get under that ball and make a play like we've seen him do so many times. But a little too far, safety in good position. That's an interception for Sommerset, and got the ball up 20 with 9 minutes left. It's not looking too good for Belen here.
Yeah, Belen seems to just be out of it by now. That was a crucial play there, and he just threw an interception. Was put under a lot of pressure, though. I mean, you also have to keep in mind it's only a freshman quarterback trying to make these decisions late in the game down by 20.
It's not his fault. It's 4th and 10. That's a ball you have to throw. You can't throw it short of the sticks. There's no check down option. You can't throw it away. At that point, it was just throw that ball deep and hope for the best, which is what he did.
Belen's defense are going to get a stop here.
Could really use a turnover.
Jakey Cooper. He's not done yet. Oh,
Speaking of a turnover, I think the ball's out. And Belen has it.
And this should be a huge momentum swing. Oh my goodness, Belen has great field position as well.
Right, I just said that this would be a great time for a turnover. It looks like I spoke it into existence as the running back fumbles off the edge. Great job by Belen to punch it out and jump on it. Now trading that interception and that fumble, it's basically like a 40-yard gain for the offense.
Yes, that is true. And now Andres Mianes or Alberto Mendoza, whichever one comes out on the field, has a great opportunity to get it into the end zone.
You know, with the offense inside the 30, it doesn't surprise me if they send out Alberto Mendoza. Smaller arm, but more of a cerebral, weaker arm, but more of a cerebral quarterback. Just try and get this offense downfield as quickly as possible.
Mendoza, he's going to roll out. Facing pressure, avoids the sack. And it's incomplete. He just threw a jump ball there into like triple coverage. Risky pass.
Great pass block there by Kamani Alexander. Picked up a free rusher coming into the backfield, so it wasn't a sack. And then Alberto Mendoza does a crazy job to avoid the oncoming defensive lineman and chuck it deep downfield to a leaping Carlos Iglesias, who almost made the catch.
That was also a risky play. You know, that could had potential to either be a touchdown, a lot of upside, but a lot of downside. Could have been disastrous, and another interception.
Agreed, but you're at the point of the game where you got to take risks.
Mendoza, he's going to face more pressure. Oh, spins away. Mendoza's going to run for it. He has a lot of room, and he goes out of bounds. A fantastic play there by the freshman.
That is definitely one of the most impressive plays I've seen from the young quarterback all season. Jukes out multiple defenders, and then the spin move to evade a defensive lineman just when it looked like he had him in his grasp. Great block by number 15, Stefan Borrero on the outside. Allowed for an extra 10 yards and a first down at the 15-yard line.
So we got 8 minutes left and 13 seconds. Still a lot of time on the clock. Mendoza hands it off to the running back who is tackled for a loss of yardage.
Kamani Alexander, defenders in the backfield right away. That run blocking has not been what we usually see today from this Belen front. 6-yard loss, sets up 2nd and 16. Time for some more deep shots.
Yeah, wouldn't expect Mendoza to send it to Carlos Iglesias, who's more of their jump ball target, you know, in the end zone, as I mentioned earlier. So wouldn't be surprised if you see him get a target here. Or possibly Nico Vieto, who's also very athletic.
He's not in the game. I mean, the quarterback actually gained about 3 yards in there. Impressive moves by the young quarterback, Mendoza. He's been juking out defenders in the backfield. Really, without him, there'd be a couple sacks. That would have been major loss of yardage.
The 16-yard line.
It's the ball at the 16 for the Wolverines.
3rd down.
Big 3rd down here. Mendoza drops back. He's going to send it. It's incomplete.
Looked like he tried to fit a touch pass there to Victor Perez on the seam. Behind the corner and just in front of the safety, but nice job by the corner to get a hand on it. Almost picked off by safety. Had it right in his hands. This is 4th and 11.
Yeah, that was a risky pass there by Mendoza.
4th and 11. Really, really big play here.
Can't afford a turnover here in the red zone like this, especially down by this margin of 20 points.
At this point, you pretty much got to put up a touchdown.
And you know, you don't have to send it to the end zone right now. You could, you know, hit an out route or sort of, you know, have somebody run a slant of some sorts.
Exactly. You don't need to get it all here. You just got to get to the sticks. And a timeout for Belen. I mean, I understand the timeout here. It's such an important play. You got to make sure you get this one. You get a good one here.
Yeah, this is big play here for the Wolverines and Sommerset's defense. Looking to keep that 20-point lead.
Wow. So you're Coach Potts. What are you calling here?
Right here, I'd pass the ball, but I'd probably use Kamani Alexander. I mean, whenever they give him the ball in the passing game, I mean, it has a good turnout always. You know, he either picks up a first down or just 8 yards. Here, you obviously need the first down, but he's one of the more explosive players. And if you're not targeting him, I would definitely go with Carlos Iglesias, the standout wide receiver, probably wide receiver 1 on this team, especially with the original wide receiver 1, Robbie Lozama, injured. He had a clavicle injury. So one of those two, Carlos Iglesias or Kamani Alexander in the pass game, either one of those are very reliable targets.
It wouldn't surprise me to see that deep sideline action that Belen is running all game. It would be interesting to see maybe Coach Potts runs a slant off that with an outside receiver just to see if they're able to fool the defense and get a first down. Young quarterback comes out. Fourth
Roberto
and 11.
Mendoza, one of the biggest plays of the game. Mendoza drops back, faces pressure, and he is brought down.
Yeah, it looked like he may have had an open receiver, but late in the progression, not his fault there as the pocket collapsed on a bull rush from that Sommerset defensive line, pushing him in and never really even giving him a chance to get that pass off.
Yeah, that was a big play there. Just the offensive line collapsed. Great defense and great job by Sommerset to put pressure on Mendoza.
That'll get Sommerset the ball back. That may be the game clincher. I mean, 6 minutes and 53 seconds left. Sommerset has the ball now, up 20. It's going to be really, really tough for Belen to come back and win this game.
You know, if I was Sommerset, I'd just run the ball with J.K. Cooper, probably the best player on this team and been the most effective player throughout the game so far. And, you know, I wouldn't risk, getting a turnover, throwing an interception, or just turning the ball over in the air.
Yeah, pretty much just run shoe clock here and run that ball. Take time off that clock. Right now for Belen, the score isn't the enemy as much as the clock is.
And a flag thrown on the field.
I think that
Could
may
be
be
a holding.
maybe a late hit on Belen. Either way, nice little run there. Picks up about 10 yards and a first down.
Alex Ortiz with the tackle. He's had a great game tackling. In coverage, he's been solid, but he's done a very good job tackling.
Oh, we are going to get a holding on Sommerset. Good call. That'll push him back 10 yards. Take away a first down, give him 1st and 20 instead.
So Belen needs to take advantage of these penalties late in the game. No, it's not over till it's over, so the Wolverines still have a chance.
We've definitely seen crazier happen before. It's going to be very, very difficult, but it can be done. It would be a minor miracle, but it can be done.
So with the holding call that moves Sommerset back 10 yards, the Wolverines defense looking to get a stop here with about 6 minutes and 46 seconds left.
I expect this defense to be playing ultra aggressive, just looking to force a turnover here.
And they're going to throw the ball. A lot of pressure put on the quarterback. Hits his receiver. Picks up a few yards there. Nice tackle by the Wolverines.
Yeah, it looks like about a 5-yard gain. Nice pressure by the Wolverines. Good job of gang tackling there. A bunch of guys getting on the receiver and not really giving him a chance to go anywhere or giving him any space. Good defense by Belen. Sets up a 2nd and 10.
Wolverines need to force a turnover here of some sorts. Try to get the ball back. Or just get a quick stop. So it's 2nd and 10 for Sommerset. Pressure put on the quarterback. He's able to evade the pressure and picks up a few yards on a carry there. Nice play by the quarterback.
Gets out of bounds, which does stop the clock, but also picks up a first down. Nice run there by the quarterback. He has some speed and athleticism, and we've seen it on display multiple times today.
That'll be enough for a first down. Timeout on the field, water break.
So timeout called on the field. It's 40-20 with 6 minutes and 21 seconds left in the game.
So, Jose, let's assume that Belen doesn't pull off a miracle comeback here.
Stallions will have the first
Why did they lose this game?
31-yard line.
Most likely due to the penalties that were committed, not only in the first half but in the second half also. The offside penalties have been crucial.
11
and have
of them.
really killed this Wolverines defense and offense.
I mean, the Belen defense has done a solid job of getting stops, but while they've gotten those stops, there have been 5 plays where Sommerset has had either third or fourth and short, and Belen has jumped off sides. So it's less Sommerset actually converting those and more Belen hurting themselves with a total of 11 offsides penalties. It's just, if you don't even give yourself a chance, you can't stop them if you don't even give yourself a chance. You got to at least let the play out so you can see who the better football team is and give it an offense versus defense instead of the defense just jumping off sides and the offense getting an easy first down.
And I also wouldn't completely blame the turnovers that were made in the later into the game. We saw that fumble.
Yeah,
A
the
few
fumbles by
minutes ago.
both running backs,
wouldn't-
Hayden Puente and Kamani Alexander.
I wouldn't completely blame it on that.
41-yard line.
The offense was pretty stagnant in the second quarter and at the start of the third, so that was a big cause of this large deficit. They're going to send the ball downfield. Good coverage, but there's a flag on the play.
That was
Isaiah Fuller.
number 7, freshman Jansen Wallace in coverage. Ran stride for stride with him, but looked like at the end a tug of the jersey was going to get him holding here. That'll be a first down.
Jensen Wallace has had a few nice plays earlier in the game. They're just, I guess, a pass interference.
You know, we haven't seen him thrown that much. We've seen more balls thrown at Isaiah Fuller on the other side of the secondary. And when you're not throwing that much, you're not noticed much, that's a good thing for a cornerback. It shows that he's been in tight coverage all game, and the offense really hasn't had a chance to attack him deep. Picks up a pass interference there, giving a first down for this Sommerset offense.
Giving the Stallions a first down. First down on their own 46-yard line.
So it's 1st and 10. They're going to run the ball with Cooper, and he loses a few yards there.
Good play by the defensive line, getting to the backfield. And there's a flag on the play. And the Sommerset sideline seems to really think this one's going to go on Belen. After the play, a personal foul on Belen. Seems like this team is just really frustrated at this point with probably upset about the way they've played tonight. Probably upset. I've seen some trash talking from the Sommerset players and just a whole night of frustration compounded into that personal foul after the play, giving Sommerset a first down and 15 yards.
And I honestly don't blame them for their frustration. I mean, they've had a
Neither do
lot
I.
of penalties called on them, and I can't imagine what the coaching staff is thinking right now, especially head coach, Coach Shaney. I mean, he's probably living on the sidelines.
I don't think it's going to be a fun post-game speech for this team.
Hand off around the side. He is
Cooper's taken down after a pickup of a few yards.
Great play by Luis Consuegra. I saw him really fired up after that last play. Didn't like that call by the referee, and he came in there smoking and took out that running back.
Consuegra is a very emotional player, plays with a lot of heart and passion. He's had a fantastic game today. Just
Yeah, one of the leaders on this Belen defense. One of the leaders on this Belen defense today. A lot of tackles, good plays in coverage, and it seems like he's been flying around where the ball is. Also, big kickoff return.
I mean, this could be an even bigger lead for Sommerset if it wasn't for him. You know, he had a few touchdown-saving tackles, so he's been a key player in this defense throughout the game.
Now we've hit under 5 minutes left. Looks like Sommerset is just going to try to run out the
Cooper's
clock.
going to
here.
bust a run up the middle, and he is still going, and he is out of bounds just short of the end zone. A heck of a run there by Cooper,
Looks like they're giving him a touchdown.
and they gave him the
Unclear.
touchdown. Now, it looked like he might have been short there. It looked like he got out at the 1 yard line. Might have extended the arm into the end zone.
Let's see what they call here.
Yeah, and it did look like he extended his arm that had the ball in it into the end zone.
Wow. This game
Good
was
call by the ref there.
14-0 Belen. And since then it's been 46-6 Sommerset. What a major turnaround in the second half of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I was really expecting Belen to make more second half adjustments. I believe they were attempting to make them. It's just they couldn't really execute properly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get with a young team. You know, there's going to be ups and downs every week, ups and downs game by game. You know, it's not going to be all high, especially with a team with so many freshmen starting, 9 freshmen starting out of 22 players. So, I mean, it's a young coaching, it's a new coaching staff, young team. These are kind of things you expect to happen, but they'll continue to grow together and improve as a unit.
Yeah.
4 minutes and 49 seconds left. We're getting an unsportsmanlike conduct on Sommerset, which will push this kick back.
On the Stallions.
Well, maybe looks like they're going to be kicking normal distance.
So it's 46-20.
The extra point.
Somerset's really struggled with making the extra points.
Blocked.
It's no good.
And this time it's no good. This is the third or fourth time that they've missed their extra points. However, the Wolverines haven't really been able to capitalize on that throughout the game.
Number 22, Luis Consuegra, again making a play. Burst right to the line of scrimmage and jumped in front of that kick, got his hands on it, and forced that play.
He's really an athletic player. I mean, he can not only play outstanding defense, but it's also great on special teams. You know, just had the forcing the missed kick there.
A major bright spot and a frustrating day for the Wolverines. Let's see if this offense can maybe put together one or two nice drives before the end of the game, just to increase the confidence of the quarterbacks and get some good momentum flowing into the next game. By the way,
wouldn't really be surprised here to see if Coach Shaney decides to put in some of their backup players, get them some quality reps, get them some experience. Because that's ultimately going to be the future of the team in a few years.
Just give them a chance to work, give them game reps, as much experience as they can get. I mean, the game's all but decided at this point. It's pretty much over. So now's the time. It's a really frustrating and unfortunate loss for Belen tonight.
Yeah, it looked like they looked very exceptional in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it just seemed like the offense had a block in it. They really couldn't get past certain obstacles. And then the defense as well was struggling. And then that just carried into the third quarter. They gained some momentum there with about 4 minutes left. But again, the penalties were just killing them.
I mean, in the second half, they got outscored 36-6. Right when it looked like they had some momentum. Actually, it's 33-6. Right when it looked like they had some momentum after the kickoff return and the Kamani Alexander touchdown, everything really started going south with the offsides penalties on 3rd and 4th down. And it's just been a frustrating game to watch from a Belen point of view. If you're a Sommerset fan, obviously this was great for you, but the Belen side has to be frustrated.
So if you're a Coach Shaney, what would be your mindset going, if you're the coach of these players, what would be your mindset going into the locker room now?
I think there's definitely some promise showed. Not everything was bad. But if I'm Coach Cheney, I'm pretty furious right now. I mean, the offsides penalties, the lack of execution, just Belen hurt themselves more than they should. I mean, Coach Cheney's a disciplined coach. Belen's traditionally been a disciplined team, and seeing that today is kind of like a shock.
The bounce on the 40. Belen will bring drops on it.
Short kick as the unsportsmanlike conduct was assessed on the kickoff. And Belen will get this ball at the 43-yard line. Good field position to just give this offense some reps, see how they work.
The Wolverines looking to just gain some momentum that they could possibly bring into the next game.
Belen will start 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. Mendoza brings the offense out on the field.
And quarterback Alberto Mendoza will come back out here. He's taken most of the reps. I'd say he's taking the majority of the reps over Miatis so far. Hands it off to
Marky
Marky Ruiz. Picks up 1 yard. Nice little cut. Hole on the left side. Second down and 10. He actually didn't pick up anything.
Marky Reed's getting some reps in. He's gotten some quality reps in lately.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good in limited opportunities. Third string back. He's definitely made the most of it. Earned himself some carries for when it's a close game. We saw them earlier. Mendoza drops back, hits Stefan Borrero on a curl route. Another, that's a sophomore receiver. Get him some reps, get him some catches, get him up to game speed. Not a lot of guys are playing at this age, so it's good to get him going, get him that confidence.
He's one of the slept-on receivers that Belen has. I mean, this receiving core just is filled with loads of talent. I mean, it's just endless amounts of talent there.
I agree.
And a first down pickup for Marky Ruiz.
Nice job, doing a quick job, got low pad level, hit the hole, broke into that secondary for a first down on third down. Now we're seeing number 37 in the backfield, running back Felix Abrucias.
And a nice play there for the Wolverines.
I've been impressed by Mendoza's scrambling ability today. Seems like there's been a couple times where they've had him dead for rights in the pocket, and he's been able to make some moves and get out for solid gains.
And he's done a fantastic job on evading the pressure that's been put on him. I mean, this is a great defensive line that Sommerset Academy has, and we've seen it today. And Mendoza's done a fantastic job of evading possible, what could have been sacks. You know, has been able to extend plays properly. Drops back, fades another sack, and he throws it away.
Another play where if it wasn't for Mendoza's scrambling ability, that's a big loss, probably 5-6 yards. There was immediate pressure by that Sommerset defensive line just collapsing the pocket. But he rolls out and just gets rid of that ball before he takes a big shot or throws an interception.
I mean, this game could have had an even worse outcome if Mendoza wasn't, you know, extending the plays like he has.
Agreed.
3rd and 2.
So 3rd and 2 for the Wolverines. And the pass is caught. Completed pass for Mendoza.
Looked like an RPO there, run pass option. Mendoza read the linebacker, took it out of the gut of the running back, and threw it to the tight end, number 88, Gabriel Valladares.
Gabriel Valladares had a touchdown earlier. He was one of those first touchdowns in the game on a nice seam route. A pass from, I believe that was Andres Miares.
Yeah, Miares threw him a seam route, gave him a 14-0 lead, and things went downhill from there. And an injury timeout for Sommerset. Wow, this one, you hate to see it. I mean, when it's 46-20 late in the game, I mean, it really sucks for a player to get hurt, especially in this kind of atmosphere, this kind of moment when the game's pretty much already decided.
So there's 2 minutes and a half left. The Wolverines just trying to, you know, pick up some momentum. Try to gain some positivity before the game ends.
Get a nice last drive. Get your quarterback some confidence and momentum heading into the next game. Young quarterback, you know, self-confidence is a major part of a quarterback's game, and just help yourself out.
So it's 47-20. Belen just seems to be out of it. As we mentioned, just trying to gain some positivity and on a good note for the night. But pretty much so far, it's been a beautiful Thursday night. Typically, the Wolverines play football. Typically, all high schools play football on Fridays, and today they decided to do it on a Thursday. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool concept. Not a lot of competition for games. We've got clear skies, perfect weather all game. Couldn't have asked for a better night to play. It's a beautiful night for high school football, but
yeah, no harsh weather conditions.
just would have loved to see a better game. Good to see the Sommerset player walking off the field.
And it's just not good to see a player down just this late in the game, especially when they have a 27-point lead on a very good Belen team.
Yeah, 26-point game, 46-20. Game is pretty much decided at this point. It's really, really unfortunate for a player to get hurt at this point of the game.
Brings the offense out. First and 10 on the Stallion 29-yard line.
It's first and 10 for the Wolverines. Looking to get some points on the board. Any points would be much appreciated by this coaching staff.
Yeah, really any points would be welcome here. Just get something going. They've been outscored 33-6 in the second half.
Mendoza rolls out. He has a receiver open.
That's
And
Stefan
it's caught.
Borrero.
Stefan Borrero, the sophomore receiver.
Well done by Mendoza. Good throw, rolling out, able to turn his chest, get set, make a good straight arm throw, perfect on an out route to Borrero, who gets out of bounds. Nice 20-yard gain. More experience and more yards for Stefan Borrero.
So we have just over 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. The Wolverines trying to have enough time to get some points on the board.
Timeout on the field.
You know, obviously they want to make this loss look as best as possible on the record.
Yeah, I mean, Sommerset came in 1-2. Belen came in 1-1. This Belen team is now going to fall under 500 for the first time this season. I mean, today was not a great game, but there was definitely a lot of promise. And if Belen can clean up those penalties next week against St. Brendan, I expect them to win the game because that's the main issue they're having. They're not really getting outplayed in terms of actual football, in terms of they're getting outplayed in terms of mental sharpness and not committing penalties and ruining your own chances of winning the game.
So Belen so far has put up a nice drive for the last drive of the game. You know, considering you're down by this many points.
Yeah, nice scrambles and throws by Alberto Mendoza. He's really shown a lot of promise today. Making the right reads, scrambling, making throws deep downfield. I mean, that 40-yard touchdown he had to start the game was really, really nice.
Yeah. This team overall, I mean, they struggled today. A lot of it was just from self-inflicted penalties.
It's just very, very unfortunate. I mean, this is a game that Belen really had a chance to win, and offsides, penalties, and bad execution kind of ruined that.
Especially coming off of that Gulliver loss. I mean, this is very disappointing.
Yeah, it was really good when they came out and rebounded from that Gulliver loss. Seemed really self-confident. Came out, took a 14-0 lead, but since then, taken a downturn.
I mean, we all know this team has loads of talent, and this team is really built for the future rather than now, if you think about it. I mean, you have a few freshmen, Gavin Marchand.
9 freshman starters. That's very rare to see out of a high school team.
Kamani Alexander. I mean, you have some studs out there that are freshmen, and you know, in a few years, those kids could be getting looks from D1 colleges.
That'll be an incomplete pass.
It's incomplete. Not to mention they also have Alberto Mendoza at quarterback with Andres Miares. It'll be very interesting to see how that works out.
Well, incomplete pass and a cheap shot after the play by a Sommerset player. Sent the Belen player flying. I'm unsure who. That'll be a personal foul after the play. 15-yard, well, half the distance to the goal. First down, Belen. But yeah, Jose, as you were saying, freshman talent is what's key on this team, and there's so much of it. And that's why this team, the more they play, the more reps they get, the better they're going to get. And they just have to learn from this loss, just like they learned from the Gulliver loss, and improve from it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of improvement from certain players. I mean, Kamani Alexander, one of the standout players. I mean, we've probably mentioned his name the most out of anybody on this team. I mean, he had a great first game, but then he's just been used way more. He's just more of a threat now in the passing game than he was before. You know, he was mainly just like that speedy back, that like a running back 2 speedy back that Belen would use, and then now they're using him in the passing game more often.
I agree. It looks like he's taken over the starting running back job from Hayden Puente, who had that great first game of the season, but hasn't been as good against better defenses. But Kamani looks really good.
Mendoza sends it to the end zone, and it's incomplete.
That's Carlos Iglesias on a fade route. It looked like he almost made a crazy one-handed catch. Just could not come away with it.
That was intended for Carlos Iglesias.
Carlos Iglesias, one of the better receivers on this team, if not the best receiver. We got ourselves just over a minute left.
Third down.
Third down and about 1 for this Belen offense. Trying to get to about the 9 for first down.
Mendoza. It's his receiver. It's incomplete.
That's caught by Gabriel Valladares.
Oh, it was caught by Gabriel Valladares, the tight end. That's his 3rd reception on the day. He's had a pretty solid game.
He's a really big guy. He's got speed, route running ability, and a huge frame at 6'3", 220. Really a mismatch kind of guy that you can use at any position. Just line him up against a defender, and he can either outspeed them or outstrength them.
You know, with that size, I'm pretty surprised that they don't use him also on the defensive side of the ball as a defensive end or something, because he's a great player. He's an athlete, and he can just do just about anything.
That's number 37 on the carry on 3rd and 1. That is the 4th string running back, Felix Abrucias.
The junior Felix Abrucias getting some carries in.
And no gain, going to set up a 4th and 1 here. I'm going to guess you're going to try and get this. You know, you got to go out there and score a touchdown, end the game on a good note at least. End a negative game on a positive note.
Yeah, try to end it off with a touchdown. Under 25 seconds left. They're going to run it up the middle with Alberto Mendoza.
I think that's the first pure QB sneak I've ever seen pick up 8 yards. Just kind of rode the backs of his offensive lineman, and after stumbling was able to stay on his feet and get all the way down for the 1 on 1st and goal.
Wolverines, they're trying to get a touchdown in here.
Under 7 seconds left, and the clock is running. 5 seconds left, 4. You're going to try and punch it in on the QB sneak?
For the last play of the game.
No signal yet.
No signal on the play.
And they are not sure if he got in or not. I don't think the refs had a good angle on it. Not really sure what they're going to do here.
Looks like they called him short of the goal line, and that'll do it for this one. Final score, Belen 20, Sommerset 46. You know, I felt like that last play kind of sums up the game. It was right there. They just couldn't get it in.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up. I mean, they ran the clock down there at the end. I would have expected them to try to score a touchdown, but that's it for today. The Wolverines looking to head into the next game with some sort of positive mindset. So that's pretty much it for us today. The Wolverines lose 46-20